You know what? That's fine. It's fine. Wait, why am I still hearing the music? All right, hold on. Oh my God. All right, hello. Hi. Why is there still boss music? Exactly. Okay, so it turns out that if you change scenes too quickly in OBS, it like doesn't finish the scene transition, and the like music is tied to like the end of the transition. So apparently that happened. Were you guys still hearing the start music after I switched off of it, or was it just me? Was it just a bug? How's it going, everybody? It's Friday. It's Friday. We're living our best lives. I'm pouring a drink. I didn't mean to get started so soon, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I wasn't doing shit. You're still hearing the music? Like you're still hearing the opening music, or were you hearing it? But now you're not. Also, hi, Potion Brew. Hi, how's it going? Welcome in. Not to call you out, but I did have OBS open. I think that innate fear of streamers of like, wait, I've followed you on Twitter for so long and you just did the first message / follow. It's so real. Thank you for your bravery. No, it's fine. It's totally fine. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your commitment. It is, you know what? You're just embodying exactly ADHD. We have a lot of those in this chat. You are more than welcome. You're just embodying exactly what I was tweeting today, which is that I need to just get over myself and go say hi to cool people. Because if they're gonna be a dick about it, then fuck them, you know? So good for you. Hi. Just don't worry about it. It's fine. Now that I've, of course, like called you out directly. Listen, it's all good fun. It's just a little banter, okay? I have the exact same thing. Actually, you know what? Listen, okay? I'm gonna throw one of my other friends under the bus here, okay? I have a friend, Evelyn, who has been doing my Clock Tower games for like 2 years at this point. We've been playing Blood on the Clock Tower together, and we chat, you know, like offline and stuff like that, or not live. I don't know. And I got my first time chatter message from her on my debut. It was fucking peak. It was peak. Hey, welcome in, Chaotic Croissant. Welcome in. No, it's true. It's crazy. It's totally normal, you know, and especially from like content creator to content creator, from VTuber to VTuber, there's so many platforms, and we form relationships with each other on various platforms, and we're all so busy doing shit that, like, yeah, not everyone that you talk to is going to be connected to you on every single platform that you do things on. You know what I mean? It's like, there's still people that I hang out with that I like haven't friended on Discord yet. Like, because we like hang out on stream, or we hang out in like, you know, we like talk on Twitter and like whatever, you know. I mean, it's normal. But it is funny. It is funny when you're like, oh, bitch, we've known each other for like 2 years. Like, bitch, it's been 2 years since we've been hanging out and talking. This is your first message to me. That awkward moment where you realize you've been in each other's DMs for months, not years, but not in public. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's funny. It's fine. It's totally normal. But you know, listen, I've learned from hanging out with Aeon specifically that some light bullying, the enjoyment of light bullying is apparently a behavior that we have in common. Including right now, as I'm just lightly bullying her about the fact that she likes to lightly bully people. Aeon. One day, I'm just going to deliver you a giant collage of unhinged shit that you've said to me in DMs and just like make like a poster out of it. You weren't drunk for that one, I don't think. I don't think so. I think that's when you were talking about Octo. Bullying is the foundation for most healthy relationships. Exactly. As like lightly friend bullying. Exactly. Oh, it was, I mean, there's earlier this week too. That's not the limit. Listen, you know, there were like 4 quotes from that one conversation, but yeah, the number of times you like talk about super villainous shit in DMs with like the most serious face, the like most straightforward, it's insane. It's insane. Girls aura farming without even realizing it to the point that she's getting called out in public. Don't bully me. I'll Wait, hold on. I have something for that. I just deleted the hotkey. You know, you're just gonna have to wait for it. Hold on. We'll just be like, don't bully me. I'm a.
You can fuck anything with enough courage and effort.
That's right. You can. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. You waiting for your little feetie, kicking your little feeties? Yeah, that's right. Anyway, yes, did I make myself a custom this expression? Yes. Yes, I did. Because I can. Welcome in, Raiders. Hello. Hold on. We gotta wait. We gotta give him a second. To get in here. Okay. All right. Welcome in, Raiders. Wait, did it not connect? Hello? Why are you doing this? Is this? Oh, no, it works. Okay. Welcome in, Raiders. Hello. I am Greibach, digital vampire, Unk gamer. We like to yap and talk about all of our passions and build a community around the mutual shared love of the things that make us go doki doki. Welcome in. Welcome to my domain. And thank you for the raid. If you need to raid and run, absolutely A-okay. We know that streaming takes a lot out of you. And thank you for sharing your community with me. Thank you for sharing your community with me. Boy, it's like a tongue twister. Hi, hello, welcome in. We're just getting started. We're just booting up, okay? We're just booting our brains up a little bit. My sleep schedule is only finally just barely starting to get back to normal. I haven't drank at all, Aeon. Isn't that crazy? I'm sober. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. All of debut week completely fucked up my sleep schedule, and like it's just been refusing to come back to normal. But like last night, I think I slept. I did that thing where I only slept like 4 hours 2 nights ago. And then I had a long day and I was like getting deep into it and like writing stuff down and like scripting a YouTube video, which we can talk about that in a minute. But then I was like getting kind of tired and getting kind of hungry because I had to like skip lunch because I went to the dentist, and then they were like, yeah, you can't eat anything hot for 4 hours. And so then I had a big dinner to reward as a treat to myself after undergoing mouth torture. And I had some really good Korean fried wings. And then I just leaned back in my chair and fucking crashed in my like recliner it was peak Unk behavior. Okay. All right. I was dad maxing. I was fucking wiped out. Like we had the TV on and I just passed out for like 2 hours. And then I like woke up again at like 9 PM and I was like, I probably needed that. And then I went back to bed again later that night and then like slept solid through the night. So listen, my brain is just booting up. Okay. I'm not drunk. I'm just tired. Okay. My model's awesome and you do need to raid and run. Okay. Absolutely. Thank you for raiding. I appreciate you. Have a good one. You finished the game's finale? Oh, I missed what you were playing. What were you playing? If you haven't already gone. If you have, that's okay. No worries. Yeah, everything hit at once. Yeah, exactly. I just like all the exhaustion and then the food coma, and it was just like, it's so bad. You need to get some good chicken again. Oh God. Why? I mean, everything that's deep fried well is like so good. It's so good. Hold on. I need to like make a list of every emoji that doesn't work properly on my on my chat thing. Hold on. I'm just like making a list for my person. This one also. Okay, great, amazing. Thank you for following. Welcome to my domain, Kitty-chan. Ooh, yeah. Chicken is the best meat. I don't know about that, but like it's very flexible. It's very versatile, you know. Let me get my. There we go. Had to get just like a little bit back. Yeah. So it's Friday. You guys got any fun plans this weekend? I'm sitting here in the FOMO about Offkai and the fact that I'm not there, and I kind of wish I was, but I'm not, and I'm sad about it. Have I ever had kangaroo meat? I feel like I would feel bad about kangaroo meat. I feel like kangaroos are close enough to human that it would make me feel bad. You know what I mean? Mini movie. What do you mean? Why am I not attending? Because it's expensive. Well, it's two reasons. The first reason is that I went last year as my first time. This is actually a good segue into something I was just talking about. I went last year for my first and only time, and it was fun. I had fun. It's a fairly small convention. It was pretty pricey between like airplane and then like hotel for, like 4 or 5 nights or whatever. Like, it was not a cheap trip. And the thing is, last year, very few people that I knew as a VTuber went to Offkai. And so I had a lot of fun hanging out with the like 2 people that I knew that were at Offkai. However, I am really bad at like striking up social situations with total strangers. And I get really shy about bothering them and whatever, and I'm really bad at that kind of networking. Once the conversation's been started, it's easy. I have such an easy time, but I have such a hard time starting it because I'm like so afraid of inconveniencing people or like being weird or like coming off as clout chasing, because there's definitely people I recognized there that are like significantly bigger than me. So of course I know who they are. And I was like, it feels so awkward to be like, hi, you're famous and I'm not. I know all about you. Nice to meet you. Pay attention to me. Also streamer coon, and so I didn't. And so I decided this year that I was going to save some money and not go. And then, in like the last month and a half, I found out that like, I don't know, probably like a dozen people that I have met since last year are all going to Offkai, and I'm like, fuck. So like, that's why I'm salty about it. And also, we've been talking about Streamer University a little bit in these last couple streams. I found, it turns out that the lecture I may have needed the most was Cinna's lecture about networking and about stretching outside of your social comfort zone, because in the same way that Ludwig had his thing about, if you're not willing to put in the homework, you should just quit because you have to put in the homework as a streamer, as a content creator, or else you're not going to do it. And so like, if you're just looking for an easy answer, it's not going to work. And Cinna hit her class with the exact same fucking thing. She was like, a lot of you are going to come here and you're not going to talk to anybody outside of your circle, and you will leave without having made any new friends or any new contacts. And if that's you, you have wasted this opportunity, and it could have gone to somebody who would have actually made something of it. And I'm like, no, fuck, she called me out. Like, not that I went to Streamer U, but like, it's the same, and she talked about it. She's like, the thing is, everybody worries about things like clout chasing and about leeching. And the reality is, leeching is a totally normal part of streaming as long as you are not trying to be an asshole. As long as you actually think that you can have an interesting and a good friendship with somebody, or you actually just intentionally pitch it as perfectly business related and that's something that the other person's into, that's totally fine and normal. And then she gave various like anecdotes of like people that she reached out to and talked to when they were bigger than her. And now they're like really good friends. And because of that, it's like added all this networking, and networking grows audiences together and all that stuff. And I'm like, ooh, she fucking read me for filth. Like, goddamn, I am that person that's like way too worried about it. And she's like, if they just think you're a clout chaser or an asshole, who cares? Move on. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm too much of a people pleaser. I definitely like worry about that shit all the time. So I was just like, I really am glad that I'm watching these lessons. Be cringe, be free. But okay. The thing about being cringe is I think that people are afraid of being judged as like, if they think I'm weird for liking this thing, then that's bad. And I'm like, I like care less about being cringe. And I care more about making people uncomfortable, which at the end of the day, it's the same root problem, right? It still is about what they think, but like there is a line that you have to walk about not wanting to make people uncomfortable. And so it's like, maybe I'm just more sensitive about what makes somebody uncomfortable is like more what it is. Yeah. That's more of my like fear root is like, yeah, I don't know, but it is true. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I gotta catch up on chat. I got on a tear there, and I have been told that I do need to like finish my thoughts so that I can turn them into better clips and videos. But also just in general. So let me go back and read some of this. What do you mean I gotta do the social part of social media? I know, right? Ain't no way. Let's see. Oh, hey, what's up, Jonathan? Hello. I missed you. The amount of anxiety you have starting up a conversation. Yes, exactly. You feel self-conscious about sending too many chat messages in Twitch's chat sometimes because you get excited. I never feel bad about that in my chat, okay? I love it. I love it when people send messages. Now, I love lurkers too, okay? But I love it when people send messages because then it's easier for me to have a conversation with you if you're talking back to me. But I know there's a lot of people too that are like nervous to send any chat messages for that reason. Welcome to my domain, Kogami. Hadue. Sorry, it left my screen too fast. I got it. Yeah. You have a slightly different perspective growing up on stage, and the best case scenario is that years later you end up working together and you can tease each other. True. Finishing your thoughts seems like good etiquette. Yo. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, hold on. Why did that not play a sound? Hello? Voice mod, you good? Or maybe I just didn't hear myself talking over it. It's fine. I got it. I know. Well, yeah, I had to like pause though, you know, I had to pause to like go back and look for it, you know. You'll spam my chat now. Good. Bro, oh my God. I was in a friend's stream. I was in Ulti's stream, like 2 days ago, and somebody redeemed the good girl redeem. And like half his chat was like, holy shit, I just took splash damage. And I was like, is that what we're calling it these days? Oop. Splash damage. My ability to come up with a sus pun out of like any sentence is like interesting first impression. I'm talking about other people, okay? I'm talking about my friends that are hot. It's not the same. We're not the same. Welcome in, Jason Yuri. But yeah, no, sure. Listen, okay. What you get in this stream, you're gonna get a lot of long discussions about how things are interesting and what makes them work the way that they do, sprinkled with some witty banter, if you will. With definitely a certain, I'm not gonna pretend like there's not like there's not an edge to my banter, you know, but it's all fun and games. Sure, don't pretend like you don't like some good splashing. No, I do. I love splash damage, okay? Look, we're all perverts here. Wait, shit. Okay, good. Sorry. I had to make sure that got approved. That's not against my TOS. Anyway, yeah, but so yeah, I'm not gonna be going to Offkai, and I'm sad about it. Now I'm sad about it after having just like kind of a so-so experience last year. I was like, I don't care, and now I'm like, oh, fuck. So instead, I'm going to the Ren Fair. I'm gonna have my revenge. You guys are gonna be nerds at Offkai, and I'm gonna go to the Ren Fair. All right. Hey Oni, how's it going? Wait, hello. Okay, one of you mods is on it. One of you guys is on top of it. Thank you. Pervert, affectionate. Exactly. Anyway, so it'll be good. It'll be fun. I was literally just sitting here, yesterday thinking, I wonder when the Ren Fair is this year. I want to go for sure. And then I Googled it and it was like, oh, it started last week and it goes for a month. Okay, got it. Better get on it. And the weather's going to be good. So it'll be fun. It will be fun. Looking forward to it. I'm trying to decide if I want to go for like the grandpa hours at the Ren Fair because like I normally like to just like sleep in and go late. But last time I went, I had to go early because a friend was going with me and they needed to go early. And I found out it was actually kind of goated to go early because then you could get the food before all the lines showed up. And I was like, oh no, I'm old maxing. I'm like, behold the value of showing up at opening instead of at noon. Exactly, because I'm Omega Unk. Exactly. It's true though. Listen, sometimes the old people are onto something. All right, listen. I'm never one to say like I want to get up early, but sometimes arriving early is kind of nice. Like arrive early, eat lunch, and then leave early instead of arrive late, take 2 hours to get lunch, and then leave late. It's like you get so much more energy, You started having your hands behind your back and just waddling around. You think my time is gonna, yeah. Yeah, you're doing the old person pose. I love it. Hotels with complimentary breakfast. Well, I don't have to go to a hotel for the Ren Fair, so but you just mean like when you do like go to their complimentary breakfast? Because that's always before I want to wake up though. They're always like, breakfast at 6 to 8. And I'm like, you could not catch me dead being awake and showered before 8 a.m. Get the fuck out. It's so comfortable though. I hate to inform any of you that are young in this chat. The reason that a lot of old people do the things that they do is because they've learned that it's actually more comfortable and enjoyable to do it that way. Awake is a stretch. Your last place was, okay, yeah, 6:30 to 9:30 I could do like a 9 o'clock breakfast. But I've been to a lot of places where their breakfast is like closes at 8:30 a.m. and I'm like, it's not happening. Speaking of people that I saw and met at Offkai and who did a very good job of networking and I didn't and put me to shame, it's Yamalbat. I don't know why I like calling you that. It's Yam Allbat. You do not need Offkai FOMO. It's so hard to do anything in the hall this year. You're here because networking was impossible. I mean, listen. This is its own kind of networking, right? Yeah. How's it going, Yam? How are you doing? I was just talking about that and about how Cinna's lesson was so good about networking instead and not worrying about people thinking that you're going to bother them because if you don't shoot your shot, nobody will shoot it. And I was like, Yam is the first person I thought of that like exemplifies that style, and I could learn a thing or two. All right. Yeah. Old means more wise. Well, not always. Okay. I'm about to bring out my New Balance. Aeon, I want you to know that my shoes are always either New Balance or Brooks. I've been wearing New Balance for over a decade. Oh, they're comfortable, and I have bad feet. I have like bad arches and need really strong arch support. It is 100% because of my very fucked up like feet and ankles from soccer that I got like New Balance or Brooks, which are basically two different shoes in the same font. Are we shilling shoe brands right now? Yeah, except she tried to list the old person shoe brand that she could think of. And I'm like, legitimately, I've been wearing those shoes for like 15 years. Morning people have too much power and respectability they didn't earn. That's true. I'll give you that one. Y'all be getting ready to go for a hotel breakfast. They're lucky if you show up with pants. I mean, that's also valid. That's also valid. For me, as a diabetic, I need to be up early enough to have like given myself insulin early enough. So there's like some degree of I need to get ready in the first place, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. You gotta shill your VTubers. I know. Flux! Yet another one I was just talking about. New Balances are kind of drippy these days though. Fucking thank you. Okay, you know what? You know what? I love getting the like accidental glaze. Okay, listen. Yeah, I'm stylish. I'm not an old man. I'm hip and cool. Okay, I'm hip and cool with the kids these days with the drippy New Balance. I definitely am not wearing this just because I have fucked up ankles and feet from decades of abuse in sports where I sprained my ankle dozens of times and like have terrible high arches and need custom orthotic foot support because the regular ones don't do it. And then I need like really, it's definitely not because I'm an old person with joint pain. Oh my God. All right. Well, thank you for resubscribing, Wailing. Welcome in, risking it for the biscuit. As always, I appreciate you. Oh my God. Oh, hold on. I gotta catch back up. But also, hi Phlox, how are you doing? As long as it's not a Hot Topic tee and cargo shorts. Okay, listen, I used to shop at Hot Topic when I was like in college, but no longer, okay? Now I do still sometimes wear cargo shorts, but it's not my fault that I have more things that need to go in my pockets than an average man, okay? I'm just saying. It's fine. But yes, welcome in. Yes, we were just talking about moving out of our comfort zones and saying hi to people, even though you're worried that you're going to bother them or sound like a fool, and how that's a lesson that I took to heart. And I really, okay. When I say took to heart, I mean hit me in the heart. I'm still working on taking it to heart. But I remember seeing your post the other day about not talking in people's chats. And so like, good for you. Welcome in. You are one of the cool people. I always like talking to you. Y'all, some respect on the Hot Topic. Those are the good old days. You just bought men's jeans today because the women's section pockets are pathetic. Oh my God. Yeah, no, you know what's crazy about that? You know what's fucking crazy about that? We've gone like the full on circular regression where I saw some fucking like Gen Zers or Gen Alphas, women, young women in particular, that were like, it's just so lame and like, it's just so lame and boring how like all it takes to make millennial women happy is that there's pockets on the dresses. And I'm like, bitch, I'm not even a woman, and we fought hard for this. We died in those trenches. You don't know how good you have it. I'm like, how the fact that you're turning it into something that's uncool when like women have been suffering the no pockets for like fucking centuries, and they were so mad about it, and then we finally started getting some pockets in women's dresses and pants, and only for the youth to stab them in the back and be like, oh, how uncool. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not even a woman and I'm incensed about that on your behalf. Like, holy shit. It's so fucked up. You're gonna buy some $140 Lululemon pants because an Olympic figure skater recommended them to you. Yeah, I hear that that's how you're supposed to shop. If he doesn't have pockets, you're sewing him in. You know what? Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. No, I love pockets. They're so useful. Like, there's so many good things you can put in them. Okay? Listen. Women who want practical jeans with good pockets should look at the Duluth Trading Company. Okay. You know what else is crazy? Duluth mentioned. You know what else is crazy? Why aren't women's pants measured like men's pants? There's no excuse. I'm sorry. I'm not like, listen, I'm not some like fashion guru, okay? I dress like fucking... Okay, listen, some of you know what I look like. You can tell I don't give a shit, okay? Listen, I'm just gonna say it. I just don't give a shit. I do not like dress fancy. I dress comfortably. And I think that's part of my being raised in the Pacific Northwest, where like our millionaires and billionaires are just wearing like jeans and a polo shirt. Like, or they're just like wearing fucking like an oversized hoodie and they don't give a fuck because they're just like, yeah, man, I'm living my best life. I don't give a shit. I'm like, yeah, man, that's so relatable. I'm just out here like comfort maxing my life away. But listen, at least men's clothing got one major thing right outside of pockets, and it's actual fucking numbers that make sense and matter. Okay. I don't look like my model. I know. I'm sorry. Like, why? 2 numbers. There's waist and there's inseam. That's really all you need. Like, come on. Like, it would maybe be helpful if we also had like leg circumference measurements or whatever, but I understand why they're not going to get that level of detail. What the hell is a women's 3? That doesn't mean anything. Don't even get me started. Exactly. Every size is different for every company. Exactly. It's ridiculous. There's no reason. Just put the numbers on there. Everybody will be happy. Okay. I can at least understand dresses being like a little bit harder because like, you know, I mean, I guess in theory you've got like the 3 numbers, but like, even then that's like not really how they make dresses. I mean, it kind of is, but it's kind of not. I don't know, man. See you next stream. Okay, Wailing. Thank you for stopping by. You're anything from a 00 to a 6 and the numbers mean nothing? Exactly. They don't mean shit, okay? They don't mean shit. What they mean is that they want to either flatter you or shame you because the number is different than other numbers. And they're like, oh yeah, this brand, like, yeah, it's bullshit. It's all marketing bullshit. Hi, Lavender. How's it going? How are you doing? Chai Spice, welcome in. I was just talking about you indirectly. I was talking about how we were getting a little bit wild in Ulti stream the other day, and you know how he was causing splash damage in the chat, and that like, you know, we pounced on it. Yeah. You doing okay? How about me? I'm doing good. I'm thriving. You know, we're just chilling out. We're talking about the fact that I'm not an off-kai and I wish I was, but I'm making up for it by going to the Ren Fair. So at least I got that going for me. Which is also segued into a conversation and rant about women's and men's clothing. We're not bringing back the bra discussion today, okay? We're not bringing the bra discussion back. We can just leave it to dresses and pockets. Ren Fair is better than Off-Kai. I mean, the thing is, Ren Fair goes for like a month, so I could have done both. But there's, you know what? I was about to say there's not VTubers at Ren Fair. That's not true. I know for a fact that there are VTubers at Ren Fair. They just don't coordinate it because I had a VTuber acquaintance who like moved to Washington a couple of years back, and she was like, oh, are you gonna go to the Red Fair? Maybe we could meet up. And I'm like, that's on brand. You know, VTubers and nerdy fantasy hobbies. Imagine the overlap. Couldn't be us. You just stop higher end or vintage and then tailor stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's valid. Bridal sizing is also complete nonsense. Oh, bridal everything is complete nonsense. Holy shit. Oh, oh my God. You wish men's pants had more sizes because you can never find men's pants that fit you. You'll sometimes go for women's pants and then just take out the hem. Valid. You have many opinions about pockets. I bet you do. Want to hear a fun fact? I do want to hear a fun fact. Welcome in, Nathaniel. You just want to say again that my mouth tracking is so good. It really is. It really is. You know what? we're gonna zoom in a little bit, you know, because like I gotta show off what mama gave me. Okay. We can focus a little bit more on the face this time, you know, because like, oh, I did kind of figure out how to do a sideways smirk. I just have to this is VTuber speak. I just have to combine smile with mouth X. And it kind of works. So if I go like, I can like kind of like sideways smirk style, but it's really hard. It's really difficult on my face. Show me your luscious lips. Studies show that humans and cats share a high amount of DNA, but scientists discovered that you and I share 100% chemistry. Dude, that's a smooth one. That's a pretty smooth pickup line. I got that. You know what? You also spoke to the cat person in me, so like, well done. Yeah. Does my model have a tongue? That it does. I am sorry to disappoint some of you. I don't have a toggle for the Venom tongue that I had in my reference sheet. That was not like a design sheet. That was like a mood sheet. It was a design sheet, obviously, for my model, but like the 3 faces that it made were like my vibes, and Zungi thought that I had the vibes that I would love to do a Venom tongue, and I would, but I decided that it wasn't worth like the art and rigging add-on cost for something that you like can't talk during, right? Because if you do a tongue toggle where your like tongue's like full on out, like your mouth isn't really gonna be like talking, and I'm nothing if not a talker, so I didn't get it. But you can just imagine, okay? It's extendable. The number of people you saw on the tongue was wild. Yeah. It's true. Can I drink from my glass in that hand? Is it not interactive? It is not interactive. If you are unaware, this is a live 2D model in the same style as the vast majority of VTubers, which means that if it is not something that was explicitly drawn and rigged to work, you can't. And so the glass is just in this pose. I did not get a drinking animation. That would have probably cost me $500 or $100 to get an animation for me to drink out of this. Like, so like it's you know, it wasn't that worth it. It wasn't that worth it. It would have been a pretty penny. You wish you could tip so much, but the wine spills out. You wish I could tip so much that the wine spills out. I actually did ask her to like increase the amount of the wine slosh on it, because I thought that was more fun. So she did do that. She did have that. But the glass and the arm is like, it is rigged. It's not just a pinned item. So it is like based on what I'm like, how I'm moving. Like it like is rigged on its own, but I can't drink out of it. Yeah. Hello. How am I today? I'm doing great. Hello, welcome in. How are you doing? It looks so good. You love it so much. Me too. I'm so happy to be able to share it, you guys. Welcome to my domain, Nathaniel. Enjoy your stay here. You better. Is a technical term 100% serious? Wait, what's a technical term? Me trying not to say anything about the legs on that wine. What are the legs on the wine? Like, what does that mean? As a non-wine drinker, okay? All right, I'm a baby alcoholic, okay? I only drink hard cider and occasionally hard alcohol mixed into. I drink cocktails and cider. I don't drink wine. I don't drink beer. I don't drink straight liquor like my manliest mod Aeon Omniscia. Your rice is sour? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? You drink wine, but only if it doesn't taste like alcohol. Yeah, like the dessert wines. Oh, I also drink mead, which is like the closest like category. You gotta pop off for dinner. Oh, love that. Have fun. Thanks for joining, Croissant. Yeah, I hope you have fun. Legs are a drip. The drips that occur after you swirl your glass. So like when it like when it would coat the edges of the glass and then kind of like drip down. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I can understand why those didn't get rigged. Like Listen, we don't actually have fluid physics in live 2D, okay? It's all just like warping 2D images, so like, ain't happening. Ain't happening. You only drink white wine? Oh my God. Man, whenever I drink white wine, it just tastes like the cork to me. I'm like, I'm just drinking a cork. I don't understand why people like this. Red wine is best of steak. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Still don't really like it, but I do like red more than white. Yeah. Man, my model is tracks well. Thank you. Listen, my rigger is fucking cracked. She's fucking cracked. It's actually insane. I will eat up every compliment. I will eat up every compliment. Full stop. Actually, I don't need to go beyond that, but I will especially eat up every compliment about this model. Both the art and the rigging are peak. And it is low-key insulting that my rigger is not like the rigger of the gods. Like the fact that my rigger isn't like, she is well known in rigging circles, I think, but I think she's like not that well known in public, which is crazy because she is so good. It's actually insane. It like, I will sing her praises forever. She is cracked. She's so good. Yeah. I'm really curious if Sens is getting a new model from her, because he was like sort of bantering with her on Twitter and talking about his new model's mouth rigging and how it uses her style. And I'm like, oh, are you one of her like secret comms? Is that what's coming? Or did you just like pay somebody to use your style? Which is, you know, she sells the tutorials and stuff like that. So it's not like it's proprietary, but like nobody does it, you know? Tell my rigger they deserve so much credit. Yeah, I feel like she's so good. She's so good. You think me and Fua Hanakishi would be friends? I don't know who that is. Never heard of them. Rigging so good at Loki makes you want to get updated rigging for your model. Okay, actually, I have two things to say about this. What I was about to say is it wasn't cheap, which it wasn't. However, her base prices are actually like very reasonable. What kills you is all the add-ons. And even though I would not advise people to get a lot of add-ons, because a lot of people, including myself, don't use a lot of the add-ons that you pay for past your debut stream, I still did. I wanted a lot. Welcome to my domain, QTR Brit. QTR Brit. Which adds up, like it like doubled my cost. Like the number of add-ons I got doubled my cost on my rigging. So like if I didn't get any extra toggles, or if I only got like one, it would have been like actually low. I'm not gonna say it was cheap, but it would have been like really reasonable for how good the quality is, you know? But I see a lot of riggers actually charging that way now, where their like base price is like pretty like reasonable. And it's all reasonable, but I think you understand what I mean. Their base price is like pretty reasonable, but they charge a lot for extras, because it's like rigging the body is one thing, but every arm that you add and every hairstyle that you add and every outfit that you add has to like be accounted for in every combination. So everything you add gets exponentially more complex and adds like way more like cross-checking rigging problems and things like that. And so it's like rigging the body is one thing, but every little thing that you add is just like, okay, so now I got to make sure that this works with everything else, and then now I got to make sure that works with everything else, you know? Like if I had a different outfit, then you would have to do that outfit for both of my arm. Like all of my arm toggles would need to be all of my arm toggles twice, because I had a different outfit. And like, you know, all of those things together like really does take a lot of time that I think a lot of people don't think about. They think like, well, it's just an extra arm, right? And you're like, well, kind of. Like it's just like the arm doesn't affect the face. I mean, I say that, except that I literally got a toggle where my arm is on my face, so even the arm can affect the face. But like, you know, but it still impacts like your shoulders and the way that like your body moves and all of those things, and like every different position can interact with it. So like, yeah, it's so the add-ons really get you. They really get you. I can call you Brent. Okay. I'm having a lovely day. I hope you're having a lovely day. We're sort of just like shooting the breeze right now. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of an experimental stream for me. It's actually a pretty common stream type for other people, but we're gonna do a little bit of fun public judgment where we're gonna read some "Am I the Asshole" stories and comment on on who we think is the asshole, and that's going to be coming up in a bit. But we're sort of just chilling. We're sort of just talking about our plans for the weekends, and then that sort of drifted into clothing, and then also into rigging, and I guess clothing and rigging together. Yeah. Hi, Mia. Hello, hello. People like Salty are the main reason why you're tempted to buy a Live 2D model. The face rigging alone is so good, and there's fewer options for the equivalent in 3D. There are some really good 3D riggers, or like 3D model artists and stuff like that. The real like challenge with 3D, well, it's both. Because 3D trackers, there's like so many options. Like there's such a dizzying number of options that are available with different kinds of models, and there's so many different formats for models where you're like, oh, well, this is a 3D model, but it only works in VR chat, or like it only works in Warudo, or it works in both VR chat and Warudo, or it's like a third custom proprietary whatever, and then like these trackers only work with these model types, and I'm like, oh, like what the fuck. Yeah, but yeah. Obviously it's not cheap. Rigging is one of those things that's skill. Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying that like, yeah. You hope everyone who worked on my art and stuff will forever be happy. Everything looks so phenomenal. Thank you. I know. You miss it less when you see all the pretty new stuff. That's what I hope for. Okay. I'm glad that everybody is receiving this positively because it's definitely very different. Also we have Raiders. Hello, Raiders. I'm going to give it 1 second for you guys to filter in. Hello, Raiders. Welcome in. I am Greibach, cyber vampire, unk gamer, big time yapper, and we're just chatting today. We're just having a fun chit chat about whatever topics catch our minds, and then we're going to be doing some fun Am I the Asshole Reddit judgment, so to speak, where we'll be putting that up on stream. If you need to raid and run, absolutely A-okay. We all know that streaming takes a lot out of us. Thank you for trusting me with your community. What were you doing today? I hope you had fun. You're playing Cat Mail Company. I've never heard of it. What was it? How was it? How did it go? Do I hang in my Discord server? And by the way, you love my model so much. Thank you. So Discord is something I'm looking to continue to improve. I check my Discord server very frequently for messages, and I try to like at least post a little bit every day. We have started doing community movie nights, where I've been introducing all of you to my unk taste in movies. We've been watching a lot of fun movies from like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, like The Mummy, or The Matrix, or Back to the Future, or Terminator, or True Lies. I don't know, some more. I've got a list of like 30 more movies that I sort of have on the docket for that. And I would love to continue growing the Discord community because I think that that is a great place for people to have lovely communal connection, and that's exactly what I am hoping to build, is a community of passionate nerds who love discussing all of their hyper focuses and hyper fixations, and love learning about them from other people. So yeah. So yes, I do. Yes, the answer is yes. That's a very long yes, but that's also what you're gonna get from me, is a lot of long answers to short questions, because at the end of the day, everything is more complex than you may think. Slay, yes, queen, let's go. Actually, speaking of rigging and yes, I was hanging out in my friend Glossy's stream last night, and she was like, when I was talking to her, she was talking about how much she loves how much I like wiggle my head and body, and I was like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've been working at like trying to keep the puppeteering so that there's like always a little bit of fun going on. You know, just like always a little... And I like to dance. But it was like funny. I guess it was funny to have it like called out. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. I'm kind of just doing my own little VTuber thing here, you know? Also, while we're at it, hold on. I should get a Discord button on my stream deck. However, comma. If you want to join the Discord, you can check the links down below, or you can check that link right there. Hate how proprietary everything. Hate how proprietary everything is. You started back when we used the Connect for Machinima, and the tracking has gotten easier. The ecosystem lock-in is a nightmare. Yeah, that's true with a lot of things. Actually, the like ecosystem lock-ins are so insane with so many technologies, and it's like it's not even necessarily from a bad place, but it's just. It gets really frustrating when then the companies change and they start like charging a lot, or if there's like shortages, if we're talking hardware, you know, things like that. Like it can be frustrating, can be challenging, you know. See the current crisis in RAM and SSDs, you know, it's like it really wasn't that big of a deal. Those are like two of the cheapest parts of your computer, and now they're extremely not, and there's not a good solution for it. One does not simply make a new RAM like fab overnight, you know. And same with software. You're like, well, this is the only software that this industry uses, and they're like, cool, we're gonna fuck you over now. And you're like, could you not? Could you not? Rip to the Leap Motion people. The company got bought and scrapped for parts. Oh wait, which one was the Leap Motion? Which one? Because that's not the one that oh, is that one of the hand tracker ones? Is that the one that one was? I forget. Because I recognize the name, but I don't recall what. Yeah, the best hand tracker. Okay. Yeah. I honestly, at the end of the day, I do think that we're going to be going towards the like infrared camera, like the one that we've talked about from what's her face, from Onigiri. Except that thing's expensive as fuck. And I think that like, hopefully the technology cost will come down enough that is not the case anymore. Because I think like literally everybody would love just like one fucking IR camera that detects your full body movement like almost flawlessly, and you don't have to wear a suit or trackers. Like that would be, I mean, that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. The LiDAR webcam. Yeah. See, Flox knows what I'm talking about. Hey, by the way, you know, listen, if any of you guys don't know who Flox is, you should make sure and check them out. I'm sorry, I don't remember your pronouns. I think it's she, them. You should go and check them out. They have amazing tutorial and tech review and such content. And I have watched like pretty much all of their videos. Any? Okay, great, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. You should definitely go watch them on YouTube. Oh no, not the fucking ads. Capitalism. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break to hydrate and unhydrate. Make sure that you guys are taking care of yourselves as well. We'll be right back. Also, not me realizing that my... Hold on. There we go. Not me realizing that my pet was missing. Oh, well. Alas. You guys were talking about potentially using my starting screen music as like BGM for this, which could be fun. I also actually do have a full second song that I commissioned because I was like sort of not sure exactly what vibe I wanted to go for with the opening music. And the second song I commissioned also kind of slaps, but it's a very different vibe. You guys want to hear that? You guys want to listen to some? Sorry, I'm just looking at my ears again. Hold on. Yes. Okay, hold on. Let me pause the music. All right, media, new song, highly descriptive. I am, one thing I will say that I am decently good at though is, wait, which one of these is the longer version? Damn it, I need more details. Okay, so the top one. Hopefully this isn't gonna blow your ears out because I haven't audio adjusted it yet. Turn it down, just it's not quite the right vibe, but it is still good. Okay, so I really like the piano. I think this part is like also good, but like there's a part that's coming up with the piano that I think is like really good, but I do think that the other one fits a little bit better. So that's the part, that's like by far my favorite part. That's like the part that I think is real good. Wait, where is it? I want to check the price on it. I forget how much I paid for it. Let's see, how much is this? Let's see. Huh? Did it? Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay, it was it was not cheap, but it was a reasonable price. This was on Skeb, in fact. Point of fact. I just skebbed this. I was like, hey, listen, dog. I don't know shit about music, okay? I know as much about music as I know about drawing, which is nothing. So here's my thing. Here's what my art looks like. Here's my vibe. It's like cyber vampire. I want it to be like vampire first, but like also like tech oriented, upbeat, you know, like something like that. And it still looks like this is really loud. Just based on my like audio. I don't know how loud this is compared to my voice. Yeah, anyway, I was just like, go. And it's a scab, so obviously that's all that I got to do. But I think they did a good job. Oh, hold on. We can do it with my like cyberpunk look. Wait, hold on. Where is it? I know I have it. My synthwave look. There we go. All right, that's the end. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so that's the other song I have. Do the shirtless with the you mean with this? Is this what you mean? Or did you mean like the nightlight, like the the full body recoloring is something that I added thanks to thanks to what do you call them? Layer groups. A fantastic video that I'm sure Phlox has made a video on. Yeah, this is the rave party mode. Anyway, any hoodle. Bow, bow. Okay, hold on. I gotta remove this. I have a habit of just assigning things to my numpad when I want to do like a quick test, you know, for just like doing the synthwave toggle or whatever. And then that gets me into trouble when I then go to Google something and I just like type a number in and then yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. Not a bad problem, but okay, hold on. I need to need to insulin up here. Bam. Bam, bam. Dealing with a bit of same day hangover today. Oh no, our nar. Same day hangover. Did you have an exciting morning? Sorry, I'm doing an old man stretch. Oh my god, my god, mein Gott. Oh boy. So I was talking earlier about how I was like doing a script for a video, and I don't know. Tell me if you guys are like interested in hearing this, because this is like a discussion that I've been having with people, honestly, on and off for a long time. I am very much like a full systems thinker. Not quite hair of the dog, but you could say that. Okay. I have a tendency, and it's both a strength and a weakness, of evaluating sort of like the entirety of a system holistically. And that sounds like a good thing, but the problem is some systems cannot be necessarily analyzed holistically, or it's not realistic to do so. And it causes me a lot of anxiety as I try and grapple with the wholeness of the system until I finally like have it crystallized. And then I'm like an expert on it. And so for me, that has like impacted my consistency, I'll say, with video making, with like regular like YouTube video making, not shorts, although I've also grappled with that with shorts too, but just in general of like what I want my channel to be, quote unquote, and like what exactly I want to do, quote unquote, and knowing that as a content creator, your first battle and your like probably most important battle is being seen in the first place, is like getting yourself in front of people's eyes, because the internet is such a vast and dangerous, not dangerous, well, I mean, it's dangerous too, but it's such a vast place, and it's so difficult to ever like be perceived in the first place. And in order to do that, you know, you need to like sort of leverage all these different platforms and sort of leverage their strengths and, you know, do that in order to like gain attention. And so this is something that I've talked with some friends. Welcome in. Hello. We got a lot of raids today. Welcome in, raiders. Hello. Get invaded. Hell yeah, brother. Oh, you're just playing music? Hell yeah. We were actually just listening to some music. Welcome in, raiders. I am Greibach, cyber vampire, unk gamer, and yapper extraordinaire. We just recently debuted this model. Oh my God, it was only last week. I've been working on this model for a year and a half, and so we are just doing a yapping stream today in various forms. We're talking all things from the Ren Fair, off-kai, women's pants and dresses, and right now I'm talking a little bit about like content creator type stuff and about like streamer university. I don't know if you paid any attention to that. And then we're going to be doing some Reddit, like Am I the Asshole reading type stuff here in a bit. You see that you were doing music. How was it? How did it go? I hope that you had fun. If you need to raid and run, absolutely A-okay. Thank you for trusting me with your community. And if you want to stick around, love to have you. Yeah. I'm a fossil like you. It's true. I'm ancient, an ancient creature. We watched that auntie stream. Okay, good night. Oh, my rainbow. Yes, that's right. Yes. Unk maxing. Okay. All right. A creature from time immemorial, from before the dawn of the internet. Okay. I was trapped here during the primordial goo of the internet. Spinning the wheel of capitalism. Yikes. That's spinning a roulette wheel of capitalism sounds terrifying. But anyway, what I was talking about was that it's very difficult to sort of like be discovered in general on like social media and on those types of things. And there is a never ending font of advice or of suggestions or of data or of opinions or all of those types of things. And so that very much like strikes right to my heart of being like overly analytical with things and having a difficult time navigating how I want to do that, because it's like, I understand fundamentally how the algorithm TM works. And one thing that I know that it likes is consistency of brand, most especially, and of like experience. And because it wants to push content to people that are looking for it, like you need to make things that other people want to consume, because it's not that the algorithm is pushing your stuff, it's that it's pulling your stuff to other people. And so the problem is that I've been sort of trying to attack this from a format first perspective of like, what is a type of format of videos I can make on YouTube that play to my strengths and that I enjoy doing, that have enough of a demand that they will get seen, while also taking into account that my end goal is to like grow my like streaming presence and be seen by people that are interested in coming to live streams and having chit chats like we're having right now, and like, you know, talking about the nerdy shit that I like talking about. And how does that impact the format that you choose and the audience that is drawn to the format of the videos that you're making, which is like a very, very multifaceted problem and challenge. And it very much gets me into like analysis paralysis mode. And so because I've considered doing all sorts of different formats, and I've done several, at least some, right? Like anybody who's known me for like a long time knows that my first like semi-viral video was like, I was talking about VTuber news, and because it was a big deal at the time, and I was explaining to my chat, to you guys, what was going on with the Doki Bird situation all the way back in the day. And, you know, I like prepped a slideshow and everything, and I told you guys about it, and then I made a video out of it. And that video like did really well for me. Like that video almost single-handedly monetized my YouTube channel like in one video. And it wasn't my first video by any means, but it was just like, it was sort of my first video of that type. And, you know, but this is sort of emblematic of what I'm talking about. I had to like have a very serious thought and discussion with myself about if I wanted to try and turn my content into that in order to farm views off of it. And the ultimate answer, as I'm sure you can probably tell, was no. I did not want my entire YouTube identity to revolve around like VTuber drama for all intents and purposes, right? Like this was obviously more of like a legal thing than like just drama, you know, but like it is that same thread. And I had to like really wrestle with like, okay, this obviously worked. Like people came and watched this. I can talk about it. It boils down to drama at the end. Exactly. Like I can talk about it. I'm a gossip whore. Okay. I fucking love it. Like I want to hear the drama. I want to hear the tea. Okay. Spill it. All right. I fucking love it. However, I love hearing about it because I find it fascinating and it like plays to that greater image of like understanding the systems in the world that we live in, and like it plays to my desire for systems understanding, like to get a more full picture of people and relationships and companies and laws and practices and like all of those things are related to drama, and I love it. Okay, I love it. However, I don't want that to be the only thing that I talk about or do. You know what I mean? Like I like that would drive me crazy. I like reading it, but I don't want to be the person that has to rush out a video when the newest VTuber drama gossip hits out. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to make that my channel, and I didn't want to make that my streams either. Like it was fun to do for like a 20-minute, 30-minute segment, you know, like breaking down all the shit that was going on. But I don't want every single thing that I do to just be like drama farming. You know what I mean? And I don't even have shade for the people who make that kind of content. I actually like know a couple of them behind the scenes. And for the most part, they're the ones that are mostly just like reporting on it are doing it because it gets a lot of attention. There's obviously a market that wants it. And for the most part, they're not like putting out hit pieces. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that with my content, and I didn't want to foster the community that all they care about is shitting on people for drama, right? And so I stopped making that content, despite the fact that it obviously worked for me. You know what I mean? Like it you know, it monetized me. I now can earn money on YouTube because of a drama video, actually 2 drama videos back to back. But and so like bringing this back full circle to what I'm talking about, like I have those kinds of considerations about every format, and I've been struggling to like find a format that both is something I feel like I can see myself continually doing, but also builds an audience that does what I want that audience to do. And like the frustrating part minor call out to Phlox here if you're still here. The frustrating part is fucking Phlox, whose content I love. One of the reasons I didn't like lean into tutorial content is that I was afraid that building an identity around tutorials and providing a direct service for people would not translate into people that come to live streams. And then you fucking did it for a year and you locked the fuck in, and then your stream numbers grew a lot. And I'm like, well, fine, prove a counterexample for me. And the worst part is that counterexamples like simultaneous, like you proved that it works. You did it. You did the work and you proved that it actually does work. And like, I'm upset to learn that you're right. I'm upset to learn that you're right. But that's what makes it so challenging is that for every person that proves that that's right, there's also lots of examples where it just like doesn't work that way. You know, and so it just like cripples me, and I have such a hard time with it. And I'm gonna take a second to read some chat. Hi, welcome in, Anya. Hello, welcome back. boils it down to drama. Drama's the best. Being a drama channel will get eyeballs, but it's a genre shift and a lot of baggage. I could be like Alana Pierce and do analysis and be late, but that costs growth. It does. So that is sort of like getting into what I wanted to like talk about. But again, it's like I don't necessarily want that to be like my main content, even if it's something that I cover from time to time, you know? On here, we are talking about the difficulties of like picking a lane for various forms of social media and content and stuff like that. And so, yeah, so I've been trying to like attack this from like a format first problem, because I know that format is like what YouTube's algorithm likes. It likes a consistent format. However, there's also lots of like counterexamples to that of people that like either don't have a subject format. The format is just that they give their opinions and their thoughts and their breakdowns on things, and it's not about the same thing every time, right? So like some easy examples would be somebody like Moist Critical, you know, like Moist Critical. His format is dude sits in front of camera and talks for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you know, but people click it because they know him and they like his vibe and his opinions and his style. And I think the problem is I was trying to like find a format that could hijack that, because the problem with trying to do something of that style is that if people don't know you, then like, why do they click, right? You know, like why, if you didn't already know Moist Critical or Penguin Zero, would you click any of his thumbnails or titles? Fucking no. This man is like the prime example of do not make content like this, you know? But because he has become so big, his brand is his face. He can just literally post the same fucking thumbnail of him in a white shirt and nothing in the same room, and it just says we have to talk about this, and it doesn't matter, it'll get millions of views. But that doesn't work unless you're already a brand. And so it's like I was trying to think about like how to attack that and like how to find a format that would be adjacent to that without being that. Because I do like that. That's what I like. That's what I like in live streams. I like talking about stuff like this. No drama, Bach. Yeah, exactly. I like talking about stuff like this. I like going on a 15-minute or 20-minute talk about why it's like very difficult in the content creation sphere and all of the like pros and cons and the pitfalls. And I have very broad system understanding of like a huge variety of topics, which in itself kind of makes it difficult for me to find a format to nail down to be my one like topic, because that's not how I feel about things, right? And I think my like kind of breakthrough on it is, we'll see, we're working on it. But my kind of like breakthrough on it was that I, at the end of the day, just need to put out content that is aligned with what I like and think and the type of ways that I think and talk about these things, because hopefully, you know, that's what people like you guys enjoy listening to. You guys think that I'm interesting, I hope, and insightful and witty and funny and all of those things. So I just need to kind of do that. And what I really need to be attacking is less the format and more the packaging and the relevance, which is to say that like I bringing it all the way back, which was the original inciting thing, was about Streamer University. There's a lot of people that talked about Streamer University and are getting a lot of views because it's a topic that people are interested in hearing other people's opinions on. And I have good, nuanced, informed opinions on things like that. So I should just fucking put them out there. I should just put them out there and not worry about the fact that not every video is going to be the same format or the same style or the same topic. It's that I can like take advantage of things that are in the current zeitgeist of the internet in order to like leverage that attention and then grow an audience based on them repeatedly seeing my face and hearing that I'm fucking smart. Which is crazy because like the breakthrough is basically just like, hey bro, just make the kind of content that you like, which I've been told, but I've never been able to like actualize with the systems mastery complexity. Like I infinite content glitch. I mean, right, but like, right? That's the thing. And, but that is the problem, is that it's like, I use this phrase a lot, and I realize that most people have no idea what the fuck it means. But I use hero type content, which is to say content where the focus is on the person specifically, not on the explicit content that they are providing, which is to say, like a lot of streamers at the end of the day want to be hero type creators. They want people to be invested in them, no matter what game they're playing or no matter what subject they're talking about. They want people to be interested in them talking about and playing these things and spending time with them. But that topic, that category comes from a Nate Black video. And Nate Black is a YouTube, like a content, I guess you could call him a guru, but he's more of like a systems breakdown type rather than a like, you need to do these 4 things to optimize your, some like fucking vidIQ video. And he had a really interesting, insightful video about the 4 different types of YouTube creators, which doesn't directly apply to streams, but it applies well enough. And the 4 like archetypes were hero, performer, teacher, and commentator. And that like very much I want to be like a hero sub commentator personality, where the idea is like, you know, I want people to be interested in me and interacting with me and listening to me. And the commentator half is like hearing my like lens and filter and opinions on various things, right? So like a teacher archetype would be much more like tutorial focused, things like that. Those are like the teacher archetype, where you often go to them because they are able to solve a very specific problem for you or teach you something or like educate you. So like education based content creators are teacher focused. And then performer is the one I don't want any part of, but is usually the way that streamers are suggested to grow, which is that, and the name confuses people a lot, but performer based creators are people who the focus is not on the creator themselves. It is on the nature of the performance that they put on. So that would be things like a somebody that does like challenge run content, right? It's like people will eventually attach to you because of it, but like they're there for you doing like soul level 1 souls runs, right? Or like randomizer runs, or like pro Nuzlocke runs, or even actually like pro players are often in a sense performer archetype, where it is because you are coming up with a concept and people are falling in love with the concept, not the person. And I don't like that type of content creation. I don't consume it. I don't watch those type of videos. Like I just don't enjoy watching like challenge run videos or anything like that. And that is like the most common way that they suggest for you to grow on social media and on as a streamer is like put on these like memorable show gimmick formats. And I'm like, I know that it works. I won't pretend that it won't, but like, that's not my personality. It would drive me crazy and it would make my content like actively worse because I would just be getting pissed off. And I operate best when I'm being smart and thoughtful and insightful and charming and witty, not when I am, you know, grinding my head against the pavement on some like self-imposed miserable challenge. And, you know, so like, anyway, that's all to say, I've been going on this like really long struggle of like what to do with my YouTube videos. And so, but I think I've kind of landed on this more like commentary centric style. And then I was finding myself like this morning thinking about it because I spent like half a day yesterday writing up a script of my thoughts about specifically like if there's value for VTuber University as opposed to Streamer University. And at a certain point I was like, wait, I feel like now I'm just doing like scripted commentary videos, which isn't really like, isn't exactly what I want either. So now I'm kind of like rethinking if I even want to do it scripted or if I want to do something kind of like what I've just done here, which is just talk about it for like 15 minutes straight and then, you know, clean it up and add some visuals and then like get her done. Cause that's, you know what I mean? Cause like, that's more what I want. I don't want to be like a, you know, I don't know, like I'm not necessarily like a deep dive creator either. So I don't know. It's funny in that like I'm like figuring this out slowly after literally fucking years. But also like even then I'm like, oh, this is a good topic that I have a lot of thoughts on and a lot of good examples. And then like as I'm doing it, I'm like, is this even the right workflow? So, you know, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Professor Gry is ending session now. Actually, we don't need to keep talking about content anymore. But yeah, anyway, that's the little rabbit hole I've been on for 2 years now, more or less. Yeah. Did that make sense? Did I put you guys to sleep? Do you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about? Whew. Sorry, I'm taking a drink. I'm doing my hydrate. You're gonna be so real. You kind of zoned out? Rip. Too much talky. Got into lecture mode. So it goes. Whew. What time is it? 3:30? 3:40? We can start our drama. You had therapy today? Oh, well, good for you. Good for you for having therapy. I know that also takes a lot of mental battery drain. Yeah, but are you guys ready? You guys ready to do a little bit of judging, a little bit of judgment zone? Listen. Drama llama ding dong. Yeah, especially after talking about drama, I'm like, also, let's farm Reddit drama. It's not the same though. It's not the same because the thing is, like the whole point of that, of like things like the Reddit stuff is like for you to judge it. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not reporting this as news. I'm giving you the lens of my filter of judgment. Hi, Sakura. How's it going? Rewriting, Reddit content has been a blog post genre for over a decade. True. You're following, then your brain just kind of turned off. Yeah, I do get that. I have that effect on people. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, fuck, dude. I searched on YouTube for it to like look for thumbnails, and I found like Smosh videos for like every day of the last week. I'm like, damn, they're still pumping that out? Holy shit. I mean, listen, they know what they're doing, you know? Also, plus, it should, in theory, have good clippability, probably. So, anyway. Okay. All right. We can go here. And I was listening like Naruhodo the whole time. Were you listening like actual Naruhodo, or were you listening like my version of Naruhodo? Which I'm pulling up right now because it's easier. It made sense. Okay. Because whenever somebody says Naruhodo, I'm like, I instantly think of this one, which is an old meme about Mori Calliope. Ah, Naruhodo ne? I see. It does not Naruhodo at all. Yeah. Classic. A certified banger classic from 6 years ago. Oh, God. Oh, we're getting old. Okay. Let me see. So we're gonna go onto the face toggle because that's like perfect for this. We're gonna pull up Am I the Asshole? Great, amazing, incredible, incroyable. Great. I can I'll get rid of the wings. That's fine. They don't need to be here for this. Okay, so here's the real question, chat. Do we want to look up by hot, or do we want to look up by top all time, or like top of this month? I did not fully prepare for this. The amount that I prepared was that I made sure that I could have a capture window of it up, and that it would work well and all of those things, but I did not decide, like, I did not go and pre-pick. I haven't read a single one of these. So we got a couple options. So we can do like top of the mind, or we can do like the classics. Top all time is going to be a lot of retread. True. Top of all time would be great. Top 24 hour. What about like top of the month or year? That'd still be like pretty good, but not quite the all-timers, you know? I feel like top 24 hours and hot are basically the same. They're the same picture, more or less. Let's do maybe like top of the month. Why did he say temporarily? Whatever. Hi, hello, Marshology. Welcome in. All right, we are here. We are gonna be reading it. Let me see. Okay. You know, I kind of wish that it didn't have the labels, so that I couldn't see what Reddit thought about it, but that's okay. What the fuck? Okay. Okay, this is almost perfect, actually. Wait, hold on. Let me check what it looks like if I just open it. It's slightly better if I open it for the framing, I think. Reddit backseating me via tags. Exactly. Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she doesn't have the right to mourn or go to her ex-friend's funeral after what she did? Jesus Christ. Hey, Shadow Swords. New account since my daughter knows my other account. I have bad news for you. Your daughter's going to find this. Am I the asshole is hardly an incognito subreddit. When my daughter was in school, she became friends with a girl named Kelly. They stayed close through college, and my daughter was even one of Kelly's bridesmaids when she got married. To explain where my daughter's behavior came from, my ex-husband cheated on me repeatedly, and our marriage ended horribly. My daughter doesn't speak to her father anymore, and she absolutely despises cheating. Sure. About 7 years ago, my daughter became convinced that Kelly was cheating on her husband. Ooh. She started harassing Kelly online and essentially blew up her life. Wait. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so your daughter is online harassing somebody, understand. By the time my daughter found out that the man she had seen Kelly with was actually a relative. Oh God, they were at a fancy restaurant together. It was too late. Kelly's marriage had already fallen apart, and because we live in a very religious community, she was ostracized by many people. They had a huge falling out, and it basically came down to my daughter ruining Kelly's life. Kelly blocked her on everything and eventually moved away. Kelly hated my daughter after that, and so did her mother. I still run into Kelly's mother occasionally, and she's made her feelings about my daughter very clear. Holy. The issue is that Kelly recently passed away. My daughter found out through a Facebook post, and the funeral is this weekend, 2 states away. My daughter was planning to attend the funeral, and I told her I thought it was a terrible idea. She said she needed to go, and I told her again that she shouldn't. We got into an argument, and she said she had every right to mourn her friend and attend a funeral. I told her that she really didn't have the right to mourn Kelly or to go to the funeral because Kelly hated her after everything that happened and because my daughter destroyed her life. She hasn't spoken to me since. Now I'm wondering if I should warn Kelly's family that my daughter might show up at the funeral. Or might I be in the wrong here? Okay, all right. Okay, wow. If this is a great first one. Let's start off by saying your daughter is the asshole, actually. I think it is my personal opinion that if you are friends with somebody that is cheating on their partner, you should tell their partner. You should not be expected to cover up their horrible deeds, and that should tell you that you shouldn't probably be friends with them. Yeah, they should absolutely warn the family, 100%. So that's part one. But part two, you should have confronted the friend about it You should have confronted Kelly about it and not just made assumptions and minded your nosy little fucking business, okay? Friends can go out to dinner or restaurants together. I have gone out with friends without Mrs. Bach there. She was aware of it, and obviously daughter did not have any idea who was aware of anything. So like seeing two people together does not mean that they are cheating on a significant other. So like that's crazy. So basically she just like assumed that this woman was cheating, ruined her life, literally as the mother said it. And I was like, okay, yeah. So ruined her life. And now tragically, Kelly has died. So I think that the like key thing here is that the daughter says, she said she had every right to mourn her friend and attend the funeral. She has the right to mourn her friend. She does not have the right to attend the funeral. A funeral is a private ceremony for the family and the friends, and it is something that is like, you should not crash a funeral. Just full stop, 100%. You have the right to mourn anyone, but it sounds like she clearly hasn't taken responsibility for what she did to this young woman. And like the poster here is 100% in the right, and she should 100% tell the other family. She should warn them that this might happen because they don't deserve that at their daughter's funeral. That's absolutely insane. Holy shit. Good am I the asshole that delivers on the twist implied by the title? Not the asshole. Exactly. God damn. All right, we're starting. Listen, I see why people like doing this. I see why people like doing this because holy, that's crazy. That is crazy. Do you guys want to read the comments, or do you want to just like leave it our opinion and then just not care what Reddit says? Obviously Reddit agrees because they voted not the asshole, but I don't know. I feel like I don't necessarily care what Reddit has to say unless it's like really, we should thumb through in case we miss something. Fair enough. We can do a quick scan. Not the asshole, but your entire community is, and your daughter too. Yep. To be honest, I'm not surprised. People do not like cheaters, even though, yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely insane poll for our first one. Also though, like the one line where it was like the woman she was with was her relative, I thought we were going some Sweet Home Alabama direction here. Okay, like for that one sentence, I was like, oh, she's cheating on her partner with her cousin. That's fucked up. That was not the point. That was not the point of this. That's crazy work. That is crazy work. Oh my God. Okay, amazing, incredible. Cool. Oh, okay. I'm gonna just try and not read the Reddit answer. Okay. My daughter has been dating this guy. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take this moment real quick and just say, if you ever read relationship advice, I don't really read it, but every once in a while, like a best of hits my Twitter feed. I hate the way that they do ages and genders on that sub because it's always it's like my partner, and they will put the age and gender after the word. And so it reads like my 24 male partner, as in like my partner who, like, to me, that implies that the partner is the one who's male. But like, I just like hate the way that that's formatted. And it like throws me off every time, even though I know that they do it. But anyway, my daughter 21 has been dating this guy, 24, for 2 years. Okay. And it's fairly serious. He came from Mexico and has been in the US since he was 3 years old. Already picking up on some potential. I'm going to start by saying that a 22-year-old dating a 19-year-old is like slightly yikes, but not the worst, but like a little yikes. It's a little yikes. I know that young people that are that age are always like, I'm so mature for my age. And I'm like, damn dog, every year from 18 to 26, I felt like a much like wiser person every single year. It's fake. Yeah. Well, we'll see. He has a strange phobia of not wanting anyone to see him eat. And it's real. I've literally never seen this kid put a bite of food in his mouth despite spending a fair amount of time with him. He's thin, but he doesn't look unhealthy. The problem is we'll take them out to dinner occasionally for holidays or special occasions. He always orders a full meal. He will cut up the food, push it around the plate, but not eat any of it. After the meal, he will donate his leftovers to someone else. It's even worse when I make home-cooked meals and they come to dinner. He does the same thing, takes a full plate of food, pushes it around, cuts it up, makes it look like he messed with it, but he doesn't eat any of it, and then he'll scrape it into the trash can afterwards. I'm starting to get enraged over this. He wastes a horrendous amount of food, and I can't stand the money wasted when we buy him expensive restaurant meals that go completely uneaten. It even caused several scenes with the waiters asking him what's wrong. Do they need to change their order? I talked to my daughter privately about this and said, if he doesn't want to eat, that's fine. Just tell him to stop taking plates of food ordered by and ordering in restaurants. Her response is, but in his culture, it's rude for him not to take food. I'm not asking him to do that, but I find it so rude that he's willing to keep wasting our money. Food isn't cheap. Would I be the asshole for just announcing he's no longer invited to meals? Okay. Sounds to me like this young man, I suppose, has an eating disorder. Full stop. I feel like he has an eating disorder, if this is even real. Which, I think that you're the asshole for saying you're not invited to meals. Like, you don't have to give him food. If he is not going to eat it, stop giving him food. And like you're the adult. You're the parent here. Not his parent, but like you're the adult. And you're like mad that he is like disrespecting your hospitality without you adjusting your behavior in any way whatsoever. Like, this kid, if this is real, this kid needs some help, obviously. But like, also, you can be the positive like role model in his life and just not like, I don't know. I feel like is the asshole, to be perfectly honest. That like the adult in the situation is like, I'm so mad that he's wasting my money. I'm like, I'm sad. I'm worried that he's anorexic. It's pretty awkward to go to a restaurant and have somebody not eat. I mean, sure, I guess. But like, again, like, okay, I'm looking at it from the perspective of if this kid is like anorexic, for example, like, I don't know if he actually legitimately has a fear of being observed or if he is just like anorexic and has come up with a bad excuse for it. But if that's the case, like, just being like, why don't you eat, forehead, is not like, that's not going to help. And like, sure, it's kind of awkward. I think she should talk to him first. 100%. She should talk to him. But also, like, I think excommunicating him from basically interacting with you because you can't handle that he isn't eating is like wildly immature. Instead of like her being the adult in the room and being like, this is a problem, but I still want to support you. And like, I can't afford for you to be throwing away the food. But like, if you're not going to eat it, then I'm not going to, like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. It feels like this adult has a very terrible communication is like what I'm going to say about it. Be kind and stop inviting him to dinners. No. Surely there are other ways you can spend time with him that doesn't involve food. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that, Reddit. All right, hold on. I got one other top level comments. Her response was, yeah, I'm not Mexican, but I'm reasonably sure it would be seen as offensive in Mexico to not eat any of the food. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. Not every social gathering has to be a meal too. That's true. That's also true. Yeah, that's also true. But I feel like saying you're not invited instead of trying to like work through it and accommodate is pretty extreme. Like, to me, that's the part that's like rubbing me wrong. It's obviously very awkward. You know what I mean? Like, it's obviously a very awkward situation, but like, I don't know, work it out. I don't know. It's like, to me, it's centering it in their feelings. It's like, you're making me upset so much that I want to stop interacting with you in this way. Not, I am concerned that you don't eat. Like, that's a fucking problem. You would be the asshole, but there are better options. There are better options than what's suggested. Yeah, I guess so. I think so too. Am I the asshole for offering a frozen dinner to an uninvited guest at a dinner party? Boy, I already have feelings about this one. Okay. A couple of times a year, I like to throw a nice dinner party for old friends. This time I invited 5 people. 2 were couples and 1 was single. We've all known each other for 15 years and got together maybe every 3 months. I was making filet mignon and a small lobster tail with 2 sides. I spent over $300 and didn't buy extra because they are served 1 each per guest and are expensive. Sure. As a surprise to me, the guest brought along his new girlfriend, who I had not met or known about. I was nice about it, but it upset because I had only purchased enough meat and lobster tail for the guests who were invited. I talked to the friend who brought the uninvited guest, and they said I didn't have extra food, and that the filet mignon and lobster tail isn't something that can be cut up and divided or spread out between them. That is a lie. You are incorrect. You're just wrong. That's just wrong. Now, cooking them would be difficult if you cut them in half first. Cut them in half afterwards, bitch. Maybe okay, anyway. All right, hold on. Okay. Isn't something that can be cut up and divided or spread out between more people, and said that I had a frozen pizza or another frozen dinner I could heat up. He was very upset with me and accused me of not liking his new girlfriend or trying to embarrass them. After his outburst, they left. Was I wrong? Should I have cut up the filet and lobster tails and spread it out between the extra person involved instead of offering a frozen meal? Edit, I didn't think of them splitting their plates at the time. I have ADHD, so I have some issues with changes in plans and multitasking. Anyway, another friend messaged tonight that the friend that had brought the uninvited girlfriend had been arguing with her before the dinner, so that was part of the reason he was upset and quick to leave. Okay. I do have experience with people that have a difficult time with plans changing, and so that is at least relatable. I will also say you at least offered an alternative. It wasn't the best alternative, but you at least offered an alternative. That's good. You're flat out wrong. Like, you're flat out wrong that you couldn't have, like, split it up. Like, my immediate first thought was the 2 of them can just share a plate of like a filet mignon and lobster tail, and they just both split it, and maybe they're both a little hungry, or maybe you have side dishes that they can, like, fill up more on, you know, like at any fucking, like, buffet place, you know, where they fill you up on biscuits so that you don't actually eat as much meat or whatever. Like, there were so many options here that, like, I struggle to believe that nobody there suggested splitting their plates. And it would have been a little awkward, but not that awkward, if everybody just cut off, like, 1 bite of their filet mignon and assembled 1 extra steak from 5/5 of a steak or whatever. So, like, I have a hard time believing that. However, yeah, don't bring a surprise guest to a fancy dinner, but also don't be stubborn to serve them slop. Exactly. Yeah. I was gonna say, big friend is the asshole for bringing somebody uninvited to a fancy dinner without clearing it with you. That's not how cooking dinners works. This is why I'm also very upset when people are just like, when they disregard your time and effort and planning by just, like, flaking on things at the last second. I'm like, if this was the opposite scenario of, like, instead of bringing 1 extra person, they just didn't show up and didn't tell you, and you're like, I bought filet mignon and lobster because you said you were coming, and then you just decided not to come. Like, I would be really upset then. So, like, I also would be upset that you just, like, brought a person uninvited. So, like, they're the asshole partly, but, like, also you could have handled that a lot better. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to call you the asshole, but it's a little wild to me to, like, suggest that nobody suggested, like, cutting a little bit of their dinner off, or the 2 of them sharing 1 plate. Like, come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, what do I see? Not the asshole. Obviously, you're being gracious as a host, and your friend was being selfish and dumb. I bet his new girlfriend was not exactly impressed with his behavior. Yeah. Actually, I can just hide them this way, huh? Not the asshole who brings an extra person to a dinner party without notifying the guest. True. A gentleman would have eaten a frozen meal and let his uninvited guest have his meal. True. That's also true. Yeah, I mean, like having a frozen meal and then saying you guys split the frozen meal and then the fancy meal that I cooked also would have been a pretty good compromise. Like there's so many different ways you could have handled this. You know what? Sometimes I think that I'm not necessarily all that like impressive at planning or socializing or thinking on my feet or or you know, just general things like that. And then I read shit like this and I'm like, oh wait, maybe the bar is a lot lower than I think it is. This is like how cell phones invalidated horror movie plots. Like, how do you want to handle this? Solve so many am I the assholes? Yeah, exactly. Communication. Unfortunately, I think we're going to find that communication would solve a lot of the problems in both relationship advice and in am I the asshole. Like a lot of the time. It's kind of interesting. There was actually like a meta post when I was browsing these the other day in Am I the Asshole? We're also going to have ads, so I'm just going to talk until then and not start a new one. Where they were like, I think a lot of you forget that this subreddit is Am I the Asshole, not Am I technically correct? And their point was like a lot, there seems to be a groupthink developing around like, were you technically correct or within your rights to do something? And that's not the same as being perceived as an asshole by society. Like you are in your rights to not give up your plane seat to a child so that they can sit next to their parent. Like that is your right. It kind of makes you the asshole. It also makes the parent the asshole, but like, you know, like, like you are within your rights, but like there are social conventions. And I thought that was like a really interesting point. As somebody who doesn't frequent the subreddit a lot, I think that like, I can totally imagine it getting down into the weeds of like, actually, instead of like what people actually perceive as social norms. Anyway, it's ad time. Time to hydrate, non-hydrate. We'll be right back. Welcome in, Raiders. Hello, hello. If you are not familiar, I'm Greibach, cyber vampire, unk gamer, yapper extraordinaire, and we are currently doing some fun Reddit Am I the Asshole judgment. Thank you for joining my domain, Une Noka. Welcome in, welcome in. We're just doing some silly little Reddit Am I the Asshole. We love being a little bit of judgmental, but we are only judgmental to people submitting themselves to be judged, because we like to imagine being able to speak. We like to foster passion and inclusivity and interest in each other's interests. Hi-oh, I'm new. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, okay, great. All right, I like this one already. Am I the asshole for refusing to follow my friend's parents' house rules and leaving? Okay, based on the title alone, I'm gonna tell you not the asshole, because it doesn't, like, how should I say this? It is much better if somebody's rules are completely incompatible to your life or the way that you want to act, and you just say thanks but no thanks and leave. Sure, that may be like socially awkward, but it is infinitely better to do that than ignore their rules and make them upset, or have their rules be imposed on you in a way that you can't like handle. I'm all right. I'm just gonna prejudge not the asshole, but we'll find out. We'll find out just the exact situation. Throwaway account because it's too specific of a story, and our friend is on Reddit. My boyfriend. Oh, see, this is what I was just talking about. I hate this. My 22F boyfriend. It's fine. And I've been together since high school, almost 6 years. We just moved in together, and after I graduated in May, we are not officially engaged, but planning to get married once he finishes grad school. An old friend from high school invited us to his family's beach house for the holiday last weekend. When we got there on Friday, we realized his mom and dad were spending the weekend too, which is fine. It's their house, and they seem to have their own plans for the weekend. They were happy to let us do our thing during the days, and they had drinks in the hot tub with us on Friday evening, and were actually really cool. But that night, when my boyfriend and I started getting ready for bed, our friend's mom pulled me aside and said that my boyfriend would need to sleep on the couch in the living room instead of with me in the guest room because we aren't married. I was surprised that our friend hadn't mentioned this, and my boyfriend and I live together and everything. I said okay, but felt really uncomfortable. I have trouble sleeping in new places, and sleeping next to my boyfriend helps. My boyfriend also was annoyed he had to sleep on an uncomfortable couch when there's a perfectly good bed. So we decided it would be best to get a hotel in town and meet up with our friend the next morning. When we told our friend, he was kind of weird about it, but said okay. So we left and checked into our hotel. The next morning, we called to see what time our friend wanted to meet up. He seemed mad and he couldn't hang out. And that his mom and dad flipped out at him for letting us go to a hotel and said we didn't appreciate their hospitality. So we ended up just doing our own thing for the weekend and not seeing our friend at all. Our friend texted us today saying he was really angry that we couldn't have slept apart for 2 nights just to make his parents happy, and that we won't be invited to Friendsgiving this year. He hosts for our high school friend group every year. Are we the asshole for leaving and getting our own place? No, not the asshole. 100%. Easy. Easy. This is like low-key what I was assuming it was. This is probably a little less extreme than I was assuming, but my immediate impression was that it was religious rules. My initial guess on the title was perhaps that the OP was like Muslim or something, and they were like told that they couldn't pray or whatever, something like that, or that they were an atheist and that they were told that they had to like participate in group prayer or something, and they just didn't have any interest in that. Yeah, no, sorry, 100%. This person's life is being ruled by his parents' religious judgment. Obviously, this friend doesn't actually care about them sleeping together, because they obviously knew that they had been a couple and living together and dating for years and years and years. But because their parents were upset about it, like, they just couldn't handle it. And I can understand being like, if someone is an asshole to your parents, then I understand being upset at them. But this isn't them being an asshole. This is your parents having very strict like I'm gonna say Christian in air quotes because like, you know, because I know that like not all Christians and not all whatever, having like very strict expectations and like they didn't, it's not like they, there is no obligation for them to like have to like not be together as a couple. And they were very graceful. They said, this makes me a little uncomfortable. I'd rather just get a hotel. They did not like quote unquote disobey. You know, they didn't just sleep together anyway. You know, they were just like, no, this isn't it for us. I'd rather just get a hotel. Like 10,000% not the asshole. Not the couple. Yeah, exactly. The parents are trying to force something and that's the couple's, not the couple's responsibility to comply. Yeah. Easiest not the asshole of my life. They're allowed to have their rules in their home and you're free to stay elsewhere. Exactly. It would have been nice for a heads up. And sure. Yeah. I mean, it would have been nice to get a heads up ahead of time from the friend that was going to be a requirement. And then they say no, like insane. Easy pass. Easy pass. Okay. Okay. Am I the asshole for not defending my wife when my sister called her fat? Okay. This might get me in some hot water, but I am not a person who believes that it is your obligation to take your partner's side when they are in the wrong. I think that is infantilizing and it is tribalism. And I don't think that is a rational and reasonable expectation. However, I doubt that's the situation here. I doubt that's the situation here. But that is this is like one of those things that I hear about with like married expectations of like, yeah, so my wife hit this guy's car, but like, you know, I should have punched the guy because he like got mad. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, my wife hit your car. I'm not gonna let him like hit you, but like I'm not gonna pretend that she's like didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's this like expectation that like, I don't know, but however, I also think that like you shouldn't be like ganging up on your spouse either. I don't know. Maybe that's gonna put me in hot water. But I'm curious to read this. My sister was visiting my wife and me the other day. An important thing to note about my sister is that she has a child with her boyfriend. My sister found out she was pregnant. She told her boyfriend that she was pregnant. Wait, my sister found out she was pregnant. Wait. I'm getting lost in the she's. My sister has a child. Okay. When my sister found out she was pregnant, okay, so she found out she herself was pregnant. She told her boyfriend that she was pregnant. He wanted to marry her in a shotgun wedding of sorts, but she said no. The only information she offered up was there was no way they would be compatible in the long term, and I don't think it's any of my business to probe or question her about it. Okay, sure. Soon after my sister and her boyfriend broke up, but they established a healthy co-parenting relationship, sure. Both now have 50-50 custody. I don't have any idea how this has anything to do with your wife. My wife strongly thinks that my sister should have gotten married and hates that my sister refers to her ex-boyfriend as her baby daddy. Okay. Not your wife's business. Anyway, okay, sure. I don't think my sister really cares that she had a child out of wedlock, but every time my wife meets my sister, she brings up the fact that she should really try and get her boyfriend back and ask him to propose again, and asks why she does not want to marry him, especially since my sister has been single for these past 5 years. It has gotten to the point where she has told me privately that she's fed up with this and asked me to speak to my wife about this, which I have. Okay. So your wife is currently the asshole. This boy, we have a theme already of like imposing your standards on other people and minding your own fucking business. Your wife is the asshole so far. Okay? If she is repeatedly pestering this woman to get married to somebody who the other person thinks is not compatible and would not be a good life partner because of an expectation that you have about their family structure, you're an asshole. You can think that, but like, it is not your job to police their morals every time you see them. And that would piss me off so bad. So bad. So bad. So I'm going to guess that what's going to happen in the rest of the story is wife continues to bring it up after being told not to, and sister intentionally says something that pisses her off. And then you're going to be like, listen, you didn't shut the fuck up. That's going to be my guess of how this went. The other day, my sister visited my wife and I at our house. We were having a normal conversation. My sister was talking about her son entering kindergarten and all the ways she was preparing him. The conversation seemed pretty mundane until my wife once again brought up that my sister should try to get married at the courthouse with her ex-boyfriend, and that the other parents would view her as immature and would think of her child as illegitimate if she didn't. Before I could even jump in and say anything to diffuse the situation, my sister was raging, saying that my wife should worry about her fat self and losing 100 pounds before worrying about her child, and that a ring couldn't hide her triple chin, and to worry less about her going to the courthouse and more about the gym. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I expected to happen. Okay. My wife has always been on the bigger side. I absolutely love and adore her, but it is one of her biggest insecurities. She ended up sobbing while my sister grabbed her things and left. The whole argument took around 2 minutes, and I froze up and didn't really know what to do. After my sister left, my wife asked why I didn't say anything to defend her to my sister. I was honest and said I thought that she was wrong for calling my sister immature and her child illegitimate. While I acknowledged it was wrong for my sister to make the comments that she did, I don't think they were completely unprovoked. My wife is now giving me the silent treatment. So Reddit, am I the asshole? You could have handled it better. However, okay. I also don't I'm not condoning fat shaming, okay? I'm not. But there is a famous saying about throwing stones in glass houses. If you can't dish out, or if you can't handle taking harsh comments about your life choices and lifestyle, then maybe you should shut the fuck up when it comes to other people's. Was it rude of the sister? Yes. Was it unprovoked? No. She has been provoked over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and tried to maintain a relationship with you despite the fact that you have been repeatedly crossing her boundaries and trying to impose your morals onto her life, and is still trying to have a relationship with you, and she just McFucking lost it. It's a tough situation because it's the dude's sister. You know what I mean? It's his sister. It's not like this is just some other random friend or something. Fucked around and found out. I'm going to say not the asshole. Especially not the asshole because the quote unquote asshole part is not quote unquote properly responding fast enough. You know what I mean? Or telling the wife that it's not your fault, honey. Yeah, it was completely uncalled. It was not. Again, the specific attack on her identity may be a little uncalled for, but it was not out of nowhere. You know, you poked the bear literally dozens and dozens of times or more. Don't be surprised when the bear takes a swipe. I don't know. Not the asshole. He didn't mediate an impossible conversation. Yeah, exactly. Arnar. Yeah. Your wife sounds awful. You're the asshole for keeping her, for letting her keep disrespecting your sister and son for so long. That's where I'm OP is a little bit the asshole for not being more forthright about that situation. Fat shaming sucks, but he really should have been defending his sister. The kid is 5 already. Yeah, it's been going on for over 5 years at this point, I'm sure. If she thinks that a woman should marry because she has a child with a man, maybe the OP's wife did that and the OP and regrets it. Yikes. OP could have perhaps done more behind the scenes to diffuse this. Yes, agreed with that. Or not even diffuse it. I mean, just be straight up and say you're in the wrong. You need to keep it to yourself. You're so glad you didn't find out your limits of unstable overstimulation. Otherwise, you'd be begging for more. Oh my goodness. Oh geez. Okay. There's something about situations like this where as a non-involved party, you have to give perspective to your person away from the situation so they can see where they're going wrong and not let it be a thing for a long term. Ruffling feathers once is one thing, but continuing for years altogether is something else. Had that been the situation for me, I would have had a private conversation with my wife. That's none of your business and you need to stop. You're the asshole for not speaking privately with your wife and putting a stop to her constant judgment and harassment of your sister. Yeah, that's more what I was getting at. You're not the asshole in this situation. But wild. Absolutely wild. That's crazy. Insano. Not the asshole for the narrow thing that was asked. You're the asshole bigger picture. Yes, exactly. Okay, amazing. Incredible. Am I the asshole for not chasing down my daughter and she missed her grandma's funeral? My daughter suffers from ADHD and depression. Growing up, we helped her as much as we could, and she used to be on medication. When she went to college, it was a very rough transition because she was responsible for her own stuff. The first semester, she almost flunked out because she wouldn't turn stuff in, and she figured it out next semester and did much better. She's the type of person that wouldn't change behavior until she hits a bottom. Pretty common for humans in general. The issue is her not responding to texts or phone calls. This is an issue if you need an answer from her and have a better chance of driving 5 hours to her college and then responding to a text, or than her responding to a text. I have chased her down before, and it was tiring. She is taking summer courses and is at her college. She's living in the dorms. They are in person and needed, so she can graduate in 4 years on time since the first semester. The grades didn't count for her credits. Oh, interesting. My YouTube thing isn't working right now. I'll have to look into that. She is taking summer courses and is at her college. She's living in the dorm. Oh, no. Okay. My mother passed last week, my daughter's grandmother. Last week, the whole family was informed, and I personally called her twice, no answer, and texted her on the news, which was unread. My daughter was close to my mother, so I know she would want her to be at the viewing. I would need to pick her up so she could attend over the weekend. I never got a response. I had her siblings message her and they never got a response. I decided to not chase her down for the funeral. I didn't want to drive 5 hours, try to track her down at her dorms, and then drive 5 hours back. I talked it over with my wife and she agreed. She was also sick of our daughter not bothering to check her phone and said to focus on my mom's viewing and not tracking her down. I did try multiple times to get in contact with her. The viewing was this weekend and she missed it. Today she finally read her messages and I got a call and she was very upset. We got into a big fight over it. She wanted me to come and get her even if she doesn't respond to texts. Not the asshole. Sorry. This one's big for me. Our aforementioned comments about people disrespecting your time, energy, and effort and coordination. I understand. I sympathize, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm the perfect person about always answering texts, although I do answer them eventually. But sometimes life happens, and sometimes something gets through the cracks where I meant to respond and I didn't, and I got busy and I didn't respond. But that's on me. If I didn't respond, that's on me. And it's not anybody else's responsibility to make sure that I respond when they've made every effort to get in contact with me. And if I just ignored them for too long and missed something important, that's on me. And it's on the OP's daughter. This is going to be a hard life lesson. It's going to be a hard life lesson for her because it's obviously significant. But like, your parents aren't going to be there. Imagine if this was like legal problems. You know what I mean? That like weren't your parents like involvement at all. Like you can't just live your life that way. And then like be upset that life happens when you just ignored it. So unfortunately, it's a hard lesson for this daughter, but not the asshole. Daughter should build some coping strategy that helps you check your phone. Of course. Yeah, it's tough. Somebody on the YouTube side is eating a pickle. They're trying to ward me away like it's a cross. I'm glad you're enjoying your pickles. I hate them viscerally. but fortunately I can't smell them from here. Yeah, not the asshole. Unfortunate. You know, that is part of living with challenges, is that you have to learn to figure out ways. You can ask people for help, but you cannot expect them to drive 5 hours to make sure that you checked your phone. Like, I'm sorry. That's just not gonna work for anybody in the long term. Yeah, not the asshole. Exactly. Let her know that you finally decided to match her level of effort. From now on, she will get what she puts out in the... No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I do agree with that if you are just getting taken for granted in a normal friendship and somebody literally never puts in any effort and you're doing 100% of the carrying, that you can just say, I'm going to match the effort. This is obviously a problem that your daughter is struggling with. I would not basically just counter with, I'm going no contact. That's a terrible strategy. But everything I said before still stands. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Yeah, it's not... I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, that's hard. That's the hard thing about parenting also, I assume, is that like at a certain point, you aren't their caretaker anymore. You know, your daughter's in college and I'm sure you would be there for her if she asked you to, but that's part of becoming an adult, is that you can choose how you spend your time and prioritize your needs and desires. And that includes the consequences that come with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after she wanted me to prove I didn't have anything with her fiance? No. I don't even need to read the rest of this. I'm just going to say not the asshole. Unless there's some wild fucking, what is it like? Why can I not remember the name? Anyway, like some wild situation, like harem situation, where your like sister walked in on you with her like naked husband or fiance or whatever. Sometimes there's a twist. I know. I struggle. Okay. And also, why are you asking the sister to prove it and not the fiance? Like, you know what I mean? Okay. I've always been close with my older sister. She's getting married in about a month to her fiance, who she's been with for 4 years now. But before they met, I worked at the same company as him for almost 2 years, and we were friendly coworkers. We normally grabbed lunch with other colleagues and occasionally texted about work. Nothing romantic ever happened between us. Fast forward a year, he and my sister meet through mutual friends. When she found out we already knew each other, she laughed it off and even joked that I should tell her if he had any embarrassing stories from work. Well, everything was fine until a few weeks ago when she called me crying, saying she'd found old messages between me and him. One message where he told me I missed you today, and me also telling him I wished you came to work today. For the reason for those messages were due to the fact that we usually help each other with tasks at work and cover for each other. Besides that, we only talked about work, shared memes, work gossip, and one other conversation where he thanked me for helping him prepare for a presentation, which is something we usually do. She asked me if I ever had any feelings for him. I said no, because I genuinely didn't and never saw him in that way. Then she asked me if I'd be willing to let her read through my old phone backups and social media messages to see the context for those messages for her phone, for her peace of mind. I laughed because I thought she was joking, or better still, let her go through his phone, not mine, and I started getting annoyed when she kept insisting that I allow her to go through my phone. Yes, that is what I said. If you're really that bent out of shape about it, you should be talking about it with your prospective husband. Because that's where the real like question lies. It has nothing to do with your sister. I mean, it obviously has a little bit to do with your sister, but the real problem is that like you can't handle if he had a relationship with somebody that you knew and you don't trust him and your sister when they say that they didn't, but you're putting the burden of proof on your sister, which probably tells me that she asked the husband and the husband refused. And so now she's like trying to get it out of, or the boyfriend, whatever. Okay. She said if I had nothing to hide, I shouldn't have a problem proving it, and her friend suggested the same thing, and that if we did this one thing, it would help avoid future drama before the wedding. You're incorrect, because this is a level of inability to trust people that you ostensibly love, and that is a deeper seated psychological problem than the actual particulars. Okay. I refused immediately, not because there's anything to find, but because I think it's an insane invasion of privacy. Correct. Apparently, that made me look guilty in a way, but I just wanted her to go through his phone instead and not mine. She still asks why I won't clear my name and give it a rest. This pissed me off the more because she's focusing on the wrong person, and what name do I need to clear? Correct. She told my mom about the whole thing, and her response was that I'm being too prideful over little issues. Incorrect. The final straw was when my sister said she didn't feel comfortable having me at the wedding unless I handed over my phone first, so we sort it out once and for all. But why can't she ask her fiance? Her response was, I don't want him to think I don't trust him. But you don't. That's the problem. So I told her I wouldn't be attending at all and that she could have the wedding she wanted without me there. Let her go through his phone and not mine. Sister is correct, not the asshole. Exactly what I suspected. First of all, even if they did hook up, that doesn't mean anything about your relationship now. Now you are within your rights to have that as a boundary that, like, I'm not going to marry somebody that my sister has been with years and years in the past. Just like you could make that boundary about somebody that your friend has been with years and years in the past. That's fine if you want. But, like, fundamentally, the problem here is that your sister does not trust her fiance, but she also is too embarrassed to admit that she does not trust her fiance and is projecting that responsibility onto you, and you are not, like, you didn't do anything wrong, and this is a problem. Like, this is going to be a problem. I predict that this marriage will not last because of this incident. Like, or if it does, it'll be through some major therapy. But, like, that kind of seed of, like, I don't trust them, but I can't tell them that I don't trust them, will destroy you. It will destroy you. Yeah. Sister needs to resolve her trust issues, not the asshole. Nothing to hide. No! Yeah. To be clear, OP is in the right, sister is in the wrong. There was no relationship and OP has nothing to prove. Right. Even if there was a relationship, if they were honest about it, they're also... you just got to deal with it. I think. But maybe that's my only child speaking. But regardless, like, that's a huge trust issue. And if you can't move on from that, you will let your insecurities destroy you and your marriage. And the fact that she doesn't want to bring it up to the fiance is, like, proof that she knows that she's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, if she really believed it, she needs to stand on business, but she's not going to do that. Not the asshole, and frankly, I think she either has caught him cheating with someone else before, or she's not emotionally mature enough to be married. Yes. It is possible that she's caught him cheating and, like, quote unquote forgiven him, but now that seed is struck. That's entirely possible. That's a different problem. That's such a different problem, but still not your responsibility or fault, you know? Or she's not emotionally mature enough to be married. Correct. Yeah, one of those two things. Or she has / is cheating and is projecting. Also potentially possible. Yee. Obviously, you don't want to believe that about your own sister, but I have nothing to hide, but I also have nothing to prove. If you want to make bizarre accusations due to your own insecurity, make that between you and him and keep me out of it. Correct. Yes. Listen, Reddit actually seems to be doing pretty good on these. I pretty much agree with Reddit. That's crazy. That's crazy. Imagine. Hey. Yeah. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If your sister made you, well, and also your sister made the ultimatum about the wedding. I don't feel comfortable for you there if you don't give me your phone to inspect everything in your phone records, because I don't trust you when you tell me that I never had a relationship with him. That's already your answer. The fact that there is an ultimatum tells you your answer. Like, it's not like you got mad at her and then said, well, then I won't come. You're like, no, sorry, deal with it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Am I the asshole for telling my son he's the reason we had to leave his aunt's house? I think I need to tweak my eyebrows a little bit. That's a separate question. Boy, that's going to depend a lot on the details. All right, I have 2 kids, 6 and 10. Shit happens, and the kids and I needed a place to stay until I could get on my feet. Understandable. Friend that I hadn't seen in years heard about my situation through a mutual friend and offered us to stay with her family. Sure. She's married with 4 kids. Holy shit. And is pregnant with baby number 5. Good God. In this economy, this friend is an absolute angel. 2 of her kids were adopted from the foster system, and I am not the first friend she has taken in. My husband is in tech, and my friend is a director at a local private school. Husband is in tech. Might not be OP's husband. Yeah, it's okay. It's friend's husband, I assume. Okay, they have a big house with a huge playroom and a massive backyard with a play structure and a pool. She had me a complete check before moving in. We were moved in by the end of the week once that cleared. She had a complete background check. She had me complete a background check before moving in. Honestly, this may sound like kind of fucked up, but like based. Honestly, based of your friend. Like, it's a little awkward. I get it. But when you're inviting strangers to live with your 5 children, I get it. I do get it. Let's see. We were moved in by the end of the week. Once that got cleared, she moved my daughter into her oldest daughter's room. They became immediate best friends. My son got a small room that was previously used for storage, but had been beautifully decorated for him, and I stayed in their guest room. Now, my son can be extremely defiant. Friend is overextending way too hard. I mean, it depends. It depends on like how rich they are. Depends on how rich they are, I guess, but my son got a small room that was previously used for storage, but had been beautifully decorated for him, and I stayed in their guest room. Now, my son can be extremely defiant. I've tried therapy with me, individual therapy, working with behavioral technicians, and everything you can think of. He's a great kid at school, but once he gets home, everything is a power struggle. There can be lots of arguing, and he can be rough with his sister. Ooh. Friend talked to me before we moved in about my son. She told me that she wants to help us, but if the situation starts to become harmful to her kids, she will have to kick us out. We did great for a couple of weeks, and then he started to test boundaries. He was punished, and then he started teasing his sister and my friend's oldest daughter. We were given our only warning. I talked to my son and tried punishment again, and he went back to messing with the girls. I was told that they are willing to keep my daughter until we get settled, but my son and I needed to get out that night. They got us a hotel for the week, and we were on our own. We bounced between hotels for a few weeks, and we are in a 2-bedroom apartment that almost definitely has mold problems while I'm applying to different income restricted apartments. I've decided to keep my daughter with them until we are somewhere with a little more space and is in slightly better condition. I visit without my son a couple times a week, and we spend weekends together. The other day, my son was mad at me and said that I favor his sister because I'm letting her stay at the good house while he has to live here. I was just done with his defiance and told him that the reason she gets to stay there and he doesn't is because his behavior got us kicked out. He chose to ignore us when we talked to him and punished him for repeatedly taking food from the girls, shooting them with Nerf guns, etc. So now he has to deal with the consequences. He's been so upset since then that I am now wondering if I shouldn't have told him we had to leave or why we had to leave. That's rough. I mean, it's rough, but I don't think you were wrong. I think that I'm going to say not the asshole. It's rough, and I don't know what the right answer is. This is like part of why I don't ever want to be a parent. I don't know how I would handle a situation like this with like a child that some children, despite your best efforts, just will fight all the time. And I don't know what the reason is. And I have known parents that have tried. And I've known parents that are bad at setting boundaries and bad at setting expectations and bad at whatever. There's so many complicated scenarios, but much like the earlier conversation about the daughter that missed the funeral, fuck around and find out. Like, I'm sorry, kid. There's a certain point where like you don't believe that your punishments have any weight and that your actions don't have any consequences. And like, if you push boundaries will push back. And honestly, of all the things that could happen, like I am worried that this kid would have done something that can't be taken back. You know, like they can't live there anymore, but like depending on the way that he was harassing those girls, like, I obviously he's upset, but like, I think the problem, well, not the problem, but I think the thing is that the OP is feeling guilt for her son feeling very strong emotions, but, and that's natural, that a parent doesn't want to feel like they caused their child harm, but their child caused their child harm. You know what I mean? Like their child's behavior caused a negative outcome that was entirely in their control. And if you hid it from them, it would just like add a sense of bitterness at how unfair everything is, when actually it was so much more than fair. Like they were given so many opportunities and given such a massive opportunity from this friend, this couple, that he threw away, that like, if he isn't told that, he will not learn that lesson. And he needs to. You need to learn that your behavior has consequences, especially when it comes to harassing other people. And like, yeah, that's rough, but like, that, I'm not the asshole, just not the asshole. Unfortunate. It's painful. I'm sure that was painful. And like, I know that she's second guessing herself, but yeah, I think not the asshole. Not the asshole at all. It's tough. I mean, I feel for her. I can't imagine being in that situation of being presumably a single mother with 2 kids, one of them who is having major behavioral problems that you've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to help, and nothing is sticking, and then becoming homeless, and then like getting a huge olive branch, and then basically the kid with the challenges throws it out. I mean, it's awful. I mean, that's really difficult. But I think not the asshole, and I especially respect the friends, both for extending that olive branch, because that's not a small commitment, and for stating their boundaries, for saying like, listen, we can't have you fucking with our kids. Like, how often do kids get traumatized because a parent won't establish a boundary with somebody else, like with another parent or another child? It happens all the time. And when I was young, there was a kid on my street that straight up was like bullying me. And he eventually, like, my parents talked to his parents about it and nothing happened. And eventually he threw a rock at my head and hit my head and caused bleeding. And like, listen, I'm conflict avoidant a lot of the time. My mom is not. The way that she read those motherfuckers, the law about like, if you ever touch my child again, there will not be a court that will save you. And you know what's crazy? That kid never fucked with me again. It's wild, I know. But like, she got in the kid's face and was like, if you harm my son again, mommy and daddy are going to go broke because I am going to sue them for every penny that they have. Which is kind of fucked up. I'm not saying necessarily that she should have done that. However, he clearly wasn't listening when they told him not to assault other children. And literally you can get brain damage from kids throwing rocks at your head. So like, it's like, listen, sometimes you need to tell these little shits that their actions have consequences that can be permanent. Like, holy fuck, brother. Anyway, not the asshole. What does Reddit have to say? He needs to know his actions have consequences. Better learn this now instead of prison later. Exactly. I have, unfortunately, a family friend who their kid kind of was like this and never learned boundaries. And then he went to prison for dealing drugs. Not because they were like he just did. They weren't like poor, you know, it's not a situation where their family was not well off and he got like pushed into like gangs because of socioeconomic concerns. He just decided to start dealing drugs and was given every chance over and over again. And then got jail time for it. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you, kid. Like, yeah, well, hey, my mom's tactic worked. Yeah. It's true. Not the asshole. Of course, he should know that his actions have consequences. How else is he supposed to grow? Clearly, the other stuff he tried didn't work. Yep. He's going to have to learn this lesson at some point in his life. Personally, I think learning this natural consequence earlier rather than later is a gift. Yes, he's probably very upset and he may need therapy to deal with the guilt and shame he likely feels, probably. But what's the other option? He continues believing that and operating as if there aren't natural consequences for his behavior, and at some point later learns in the criminal justice system. Yep. Hundo percento. Everybody agrees. Am I the asshole for not helping a student of mine after he stole my customer? Okay, we'll find out. I'm an artist who makes and teaches students how to make stained glass windows. One of my students found out that I was about to start a window for a couple that he now knows through another friend, and then convinced the couple to drop me and go with him to make the window. I had already drawn a quarter-size sketch to see if there was something the customer wanted, and now the student expects me to draw it out full-sized and help him make it. It's too large to work on in class. We always had a maximum size limitation that this window almost doubles. Working on a window this size would displace another student. Also, I'm supposed to store the window week to week so he won't have to lug it back and forth from home since it's so large. Am I the asshole for telling him that it can't be worked on in the shop, or and that I'm not drawing a full-size pattern for him? I told him he could have a copy of the sketch. Win, lose, I plan on showing him this. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, sorry. I get it. Like, in a sense, you're a little, no, you're not the asshole whatsoever. If somebody wants to poach your work for you, I'm not saying that you need to be rude to them, but I am saying that you are not obligated to do their work for them. What's going to happen is this couple is going to realize that you can't deliver on it. By you, I mean the student can't deliver on it, and they're either going to live with the consequences of their actions, or they're going to reach back out to you and then pay you what you deserve for it. At which point, maybe you should change the fee and say, sorry, prices have changed. But it's not your job to do somebody else's literal job, especially because they poached it from you. Like, that's a fuck around and find out. Like, you tried to poach it and couldn't actually do it. You got to learn you can't do that, brother. Yeah, don't help someone who's taking money out of your household. Yeah. If it was like a friendly competition type situation, like you were in a sales business and like, you know, it was like competing salesmen or something, and then they asked you to help in like some tangential way, then I'd be like, yeah, that's part of the business. Go ahead, help them. But like, I sniped your customer, but I don't know how to actually do it because I'm just friends with them. Can you help me do it? Like, no, no, I cannot. I will not. Yeah, amazing. Incredible. Yeah. Easy. That was easy. It's funny how I'm not really finding any of these that are like hard to answer. You know what I mean? I don't know how often that is the case. I'm finding most of these to be like pretty simple, and the context is much more in how difficult it is to, or like that the situation has legs before the actual inciting incident, more so than the actual inciting incident. I already like this one. Am I the asshole for telling my brother it takes two to tango? I'll try to keep this as short as I can. Apologies for any spelling mistakes. My brother, Cameron, quote unquote, has been married to his high school sweetheart, Alina, since they were both 19. She grew up in a very conservative Christian household where she was one of 11 children. That's crazy. And her mother stayed at home whilst her father worked to provide for the family. Alina has always wanted to follow her mother's footsteps and be a stay-at-home parent with a large brood of kids. When my brother Cameron and Alina first announced engagement, everybody in the family told Cameron that if he really wanted that type of lifestyle with Alina, he would need to work really, really hard, especially in a tough economy. Cameron was not concerned, and he said he had a plan. To this day, I have no idea what his plan was. Okay, I love the sass on this sibling. Fast forward to now, Alina and Cameron have 5 kids and the 6th on the way, but they are struggling a lot financially. He has borrowed multiple times from my parents, and my parents give in every time because they feel guilty about their grandkids going without. Tough situation. Cameron called me last night to vent about it, saying how he's sick of her and was tired of working his ass off. He confessed to me that he's secretly really upset by news of the sixth child because he was trying to convince Alina to get a job, but now she's pregnant again and there's no way he will be able to convince her. This is where I may be the asshole. I told him that I understood his frustration and his wife was partly to blame, but he knew what she wanted when they got married, and it's not as though he did anything to prevent the sixth child from being conceived. He asked me what I meant, and I said, well, it takes two to tango. He cussed me out and then hung up. I'm not sure if I was the asshole, but I was only trying to convey that he had some agency in his marriage and he can't blame the shitty situation on his wife. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Pretty simple. Like open and shut case. Is that the type of relationship that I want? No. If I was dating somebody and they said, my goal is to be a stay-at-home mom while we have 12 kids, I would say, no, thank you. That doesn't work for me. Sorry. And especially the like thing about like it takes two to tango. My immediate thought was like, if you didn't want a sixth kid, get a vasectomy. Like you can do it. You can make it happen. Okay. And you know, like I'm not going to be like it should be abstinence only or like you have to wear condoms or whatever, but like you have options. Okay. You have options and you chose not to take them. And you chose to do some other actions that have predictable consequences. Tale as old as time. Cannot be surprised. Yeah. Yeah. Not the asshole for telling his brother that his brother had agency in this situation. Hey, Kat, how's it going? Yeah, not the asshole. Your brother made lots of poor life choices, was warned multiple times, both before the marriage and has been continuing to go through this. Sorry, like, I don't know what to tell you. You know, I feel for you, but, you know, you made these choices. Full stop. Like, end of, you know, I don't know. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Not the asshole. He should get a vasectomy. Nailed it. Not the asshole. If he had a lick of common sense, he wouldn't have married somebody knowing he did not want the same things as them. Also correct. Not the asshole. I knew a couple like this. The husband didn't even go to the birth of their fourth child because he was so angry about having a fourth child. He absolutely participated in this. Sounds like he wants to just pull and put all the blame on the spouse. Exactly. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Not the asshole. Your brother is the asshole. This one sounds complicated. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay my house sitter? Quote unquote. A few weeks ago, I caught up with a good friend of mine. She was telling me about how much of a nightmare her new landlady was. She would enter Jen's room without knocking. She timed her showers and tried to charge her extra for showers over 5 minutes. Good God. Most recently, she installed cameras in the kitchen and living rooms and uses them to watch and eavesdrop on the housemates while she's away. Jen said that she has a new place lined up, but had to wait because the room wasn't available. Oh my God. Is this story like she's having problems because she lined up a new place but needs a place to stay for a month? So you said stay at my place and then she's going to say you should pay me for that? Is that what's about to happen? The fucking audacity, if that's what's about to happen. Insane. One of my cousins is like this and he stepped up financially, thankfully. Yeah. New place lined up, but had to wait because the room wasn't available for another month. My husband and I just happened to have an upcoming week-long trip planned. I told Jen if she wanted a break from the nightmare situation, she was welcome to stay at our house while we're away for the week. She gladly accepted. She arrives on the day we leave. I give her a key, tell her the fridge is full of wine, and to help herself to anything in the kitchen, I showed her how to get onto all the streaming services. Instead, if she wanted to have a friend over, she's welcome to. I trusted her judgment. I told her to have a good time, and we left. We just got back yesterday. A few bottles of wine had been opened and finished as expected. The kitchen floor was a bit of a mess, but overall everything was fine. I later got a call asking when I would be transferring her the money for house sitting. I kind of don't know what to say and paused awkwardly. I said I thought we were doing her a favor by getting her time away from her house. She told me that her time wasn't free and had expected I'd be paying her something like $500 for the week. Well, first of all, if you expected that, you should have communicated that. Second of all, fuck you. You are incapable of human interaction. I'm sorry. Like, your situation is fucked up, but like, how dare you? Actually, how dare you? Insane. I ended the call saying I'd think about the amount we'd pay her. I'm not sure, but this seems like a bit of a crazy request. I have no pets to feed, no plants to water, and she didn't need to do any housework. I even live like 30 minutes closer to her work, so it even saved her an hour a day in travel. And she wasn't stuck in the house. She was free to come and go as she wanted. Had I not known about her issue with the landlady, I would have just left the house vacant for a week. I texted her this morning mentioning the points above and didn't think it was reasonable that I pay her for what was essentially a break for her. She's furious now, saying that she was depending on having that money. Yeah, guys, I'm after your perspective. Am I the asshole? No. No. One of my cousins is like, oh yeah. Nah, big sag. Big fucking sag. Expecting money without asking is already receiving something of value is unhinged. Yeah, insane work. No, you do not owe this person money, not the asshole. Yeah, charge her $1,000 for 1 week's rent cleaning fee like an Airbnb. Yeah, exactly. Jen is not your friend. I'd cease communications. I don't know that I would go that far, but like, damn. Oh, so sorry, sweetheart. The wine fee, the food fee, the electricity fee, the streaming fee, the cleaning fee, the shower as long as you want fee, not being eavesdropped on fee, and didn't ask to set up an expectation of being paid fee are equal to your payment. Do better next time. Yeah, right? Insano. Like, god damn. Fucking insane. Okay. Ooh, okay. Am I the asshole for being blunt with my boyfriend about why he isn't getting hired anywhere? I've been with my boyfriend since 2024. We met online after a few years of friendship. He had gotten an insurance payout and decided to move to my state for a few months. Well, a few months turned into a couple of years and the insurance money has run out. Previous to the insurance payout, he had helped his dad with landscaping business and had a few short-term jobs, but no job lasting longer than a year. Once he ran out of insurance money, he began to search for jobs. He quickly became frustrated because nobody was getting back to him. He would often threaten to give up and go and move back in with his parents. Welcome to my domain, Kieran Siobhan? Did I get that right? Did I nail it? Kieran Siobhan? Tell me if I nailed that. I'm an HR manager and hire people for my company on a regular business. I took a look at his resume and explained that no one was going to hire a 29-year-old who had less than 5 full years of work experience with years of gaps between jobs. He argued that he was applying for entry-level positions, and I explained that his age would be his downfall. It doesn't matter if it's entry-level, a 29-year-old not holding a job is a bad look. He's now stating that I'm insensitive and made him feel like shit for not being able to contribute enough to our house. Although I've only asked him to help with groceries, I'd take care of the rest of the bills. Admittedly, I think I could have addressed it in a softer manner, but I definitely let my personal feelings get in the way. I love him to death, but it feels a little ridiculous that he lived off his parents for as long as he did with no independence. Am I the asshole? Edit for some added context. I did help him work through his resume. The initial conversation stopped at this is the issue because he'd become too upset with me at the moment. Took a couple of hours, but eventually we were able to sit down and fluff it up, so to say. Close enough? Okay. All right. I try. Hello, Vampire. Welcome in. Hi, Leon. Hi, all of you. I'm gonna say probably slightly the asshole, but not really. I think that she's giving honest advice. The reason I'm saying possibly slightly is she may have delivered it in a way that is slightly asshole-ish, but the concept of explaining to somebody why they're having troubles working, especially when it's pertinent to your field of expertise, is not asshole-ish. It's an important part of helping them out. I can imagine that maybe she was a little blunt, which maybe is like not the best. So I'm not gonna like completely write that off, but like overall for like intent and reason and goals and personal growth, I'm gonna say not really the asshole. It's so hard to type because your fennec fox is in your arm. You have a fox? Dude, I love little critters that aren't typical pets. I am so sad that raccoons are like not acceptable pets. I would fucking love to have a raccoon for a pet as long as it didn't like claw my eyes out and shit all over the place, which is probably why they're not good for pets. But like, imagine if I could have a raccoon that was like a cat, but like just their cute little raccoon selves. Man. His name is Aoife. Love that. Also, thank you for telling me how to pronounce that, because I would not have been able to get that. We have ads starting in just a few seconds, unfortunately, but we always take our ad breaks to get up, stretch, hydrate, and unhydrate, as it were, get a snack, etc. We make sure to not do anything too important while the ads are running so that nobody misses anything. So if that is okay with you, please feel free to stick around and you can hear a few seconds of my kick-ass BRB music. BRB. Oh, that was actually a pretty clean music transition. Hello, welcome back. Hi, Lucky, how's it going? What do you mean the Twitter people got me? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Welcome back in. We are doing a little bit of fun Reddit reading, which is something I've never done on stream before, but I'm having fun. I think I'm gonna go for like maybe another, maybe like half hour to an hour and then call it. But we've had a lot of fun going through the top Am I the Asshole posts for the month. Although generally I've been having a pretty easy time. It's pretty easy usually to determine who is the asshole or not. But some fun, complicated dynamics going on. Okay. Am I the asshole for making my kid call the coach to tell him that she is quitting? My kid is a quitter. She wants to try a sport, realizes she doesn't like it, and then wants to quit. This happens with basically everything she's tried, hobbies, commitments, and so on. It is a frustrating habit that I can't get her to kick. If I force her to keep doing the activity, then it's a miserable time for everyone. She has a big stubborn streak and will try to make it everyone's problem. I have forced her to finish things before. It is just not fun. Before it is just not a fun time for anyone. My daughter is 12 and wanted to join cross country for the summer. Well, now that she is hot and doesn't wish to do it anymore, that's the reason she gave, and wishes to quit the team. I told her no and that it will get cooler, but she is adamant that she is done. Yesterday night for practice was not fun. She complained constantly and forgot her water, but luckily her friend had some extra. I told her that if she wants to quit, she can call the coach's number and tell him herself. She hates talking on the phone, some anxiety with it, and refuses to call him herself. That has been the running deal, and she is upset. My ex is kind of pissed at me for this and is claiming I'm being a dick and just let her quit, and I can call the coach's number instead of making my kid do it. Not the asshole apostrophe or asterisk. I think it's also valid if you want to take her to practice and she tells the coach. I think it's totally reasonable to say that, like, this sort of goes back to the whole, like, your actions have consequences, and if you're just smoothing it over, the consequences aren't going to feel real. I understand that she feels anxiety about talking to somebody and telling them that she's quitting something, but she's quitting. So, like, it's not the end of the world to say, like, yeah, you have to say it. Sorry. You know, I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, if I'm going to be totally honest, but I do sympathize with the parent saying, like, okay, but you have to be the one that says it. That's not that big of an ask. And like I said, if you just take her there to practice and then she quits in person, that's a good lesson too. Not that big of a deal though. Hi, Fabulous Flowers. Aoife is in your Discord whenever I have time to check it out. Warning, you made chew on my curtains. Arnar. I'm very excited to see cute pet pics though. I think that'll be extremely adorable. Okay, pretty easy one. Not gonna lie. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law to stop coming to my house uninvited when no one is home? No, move on. Don't even need to read it. Anytime that somebody comes over uninvited when you have expressed that that is not what you want, is you having a limit and a boundary that you need to enforce. Full stop. It does not matter why. It does not matter why. Nobody's entitled to enter your home or show up at your doorstep whenever they want, if that's not the kind of relationship that you want. Some people are fine with that, and that's great. I don't even need to read it. My wife gave a key to our house to her sister. I thought this was a backup copy in case we lost a set of our keys, but several times over the last few weeks, I've come home to find my sister-in-law at my house when neither I nor my wife is home. She's always at my house to eat. She either makes a lunch with food in the fridge / pantry or helps herself to leftovers, including leftovers from eating out that were brought home. I didn't like this, so I asked my wife to tell her sister to stop, but my wife wouldn't do it. She said she doesn't have a problem with it, so I sent a text to the sister-in-law and told her I wasn't comfortable with her letting herself into my house and taking food without asking, and I asked her not to do it anymore. Now my wife, her sister, and her other siblings, and her parents are furious with me. They say that I am in the wrong and being unreasonable, and that, in their opinion, the sister-in-law isn't doing anything wrong because none of them would have a problem with me doing the same to them. To me, that isn't the issue. I wasn't okay with what she was doing, and I told her to stop. It's my and my wife's house, not anyone else's. Yeah. So your wife's family is very much anybody can come in and have free reign of the house whenever they want. I understand that that is an appealing lifestyle if that's like what you're into. That doesn't mean that you get to make that everybody else's lifestyle. Sorry. Sorry. Not the asshole. Not the asshole for establishing a boundary and enforcing it. And, just because somebody is okay with you doing something to them doesn't mean that you have to be okay with them doing it to you. Do you know what I mean? That's not how relationships work, you know? It's just not. That's just not how things work. And obviously it's something of like a cultural issue for their family, but that swings both ways, you know? So pretty easy, not the asshole. Get a key to their houses and start making your lunches. But see, that's just being petty. They probably are actually legitimately okay with that. That's the problem. The problem is that they probably legitimately are okay with family coming over and like having sort of like communal open house living. They're probably actually fine with that. That's not going to be the win you think it is. You know what I mean? That's what you would do happen is eat them. Yeah, that's not cool. How you supposed to cook lean cuisine in the buff? Exactly. I was gonna say I was expecting it to be that they came over while they were having sex. Okay, because that's still a completely valid thing. Like, just start hanging dong at home, you know, just start walking around in the buff, you know, you're like, oh, how are we cooking lunch today? We're cooking lunch like this today, baby. What do you mean? What do you mean you're like, is your sister okay with that? She like what she sees? And then if your wife's like, yeah, I'm into that, then Sweet Home Alabama, I guess, you know, but like, seriously, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Nips out for the patrons. It's okay. They're male presenting nipples. Twitch can't give a shit about it. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Completely not the asshole. You have a wife problem as much as a sister-in-law problem. Changing the locks won't help because your wife can just give her a new key, not the asshole. Yeah. Yeah. That's just not how privacy and consent work. Sorry. You know, that's tough situation. Hey, Vashala. Am I the asshole for showing up my brother's girlfriend by getting him a birthday gift he liked more and not warning her I was getting a big gift? I'm going to make a prejudgment that this is probably not the asshole. There's a certain degree of like, it depends on the extremity of it, I suppose, but you're not responsible for other people's gifts. You know what I mean? You're not responsible for other people's gifts. Hello, Raiders. Welcome in. Hi, Malchus. Hello. Yes, hi, Malchus. Hi, Moku. Hello, welcome in. I am Greibach Cyber Vampire Unk Gamer, and we are doing a little bit of chatting and Reddit reading today. We are going through Am I the Asshole and judging people not silently. Yeah, you were already here. Yeah, I know. It just, listen, your names both start with M, so my speed reading, like, fucked me over there. Welcome in. Welcome to my domain, Nephera Windseeker. Nephera? Probably. Welcome in. What were you playing? You were playing Destiny 2. How did that go? Also, rest in peace, Destiny 2. Sorry to hear for your loss. But yeah, we're doing some fun Reddit reading, and judging whether or not people are the asshole. Honestly, a lot of these are not the asshole. I'm finding that most of these are people having boundaries or the other party having insane expectations and the OP basically having a fuck around and find out, or like, don't push my boundaries. I think I've seen maybe one of them where I said the OP was the asshole. I have a twin brother. Growing up, our favorite pastime was building Lego together. Our family, is the special gift you got for your brother one of those like $2,000 Legos? That's insane. You may be a little quiet because you're in the middle of making my VTuber outfit. What do you mean by that? That's crazy. And also, it's totally okay to be quiet. We love lurkers here too. I mean, I love chatting, but you know what? Listen, I love and respect all lurkers. A cyber vampire. You never heard about that one. Thank you. It's my idea that I sort of cobbled together from a couple of different concepts that I evolved into this concept. And I was warned early on when I took a consultation that it would be too difficult to market because nobody knows what the fuck that means. And they might have been right, but I still love it. You're a clothing maker and you're deciding to steal my identity? Well, listen, if you give me one, you can steal my identity as long as you make me an outfit. But no, listen, if you're like legitimately planning to make clothes for like cosplay or for fun or whatever, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever heard. Just throwing that out there. Okay. Our family couldn't afford it, so often the sets we had were treasured, and we'd always buy bags of loose bricks from charity shops whenever we saw them. It was a major bonding time for us, making things together, and my brother claims that those days of playing with Lego is what inspired him to go and become an architect. Very sweet. It was our birthday on Friday, and we had a small thing with family. My boyfriend of 3 years was there, and so were my brother's girlfriend of 2 years. During the gift exchange, we left each other's presents to last, and we always have, or as we always have, and opened our respective gifts. They were very nice and enjoyable, nothing to complain about on either side. When we exchanged gifts, however, it led to some laughs and delight on both sides. I got him the Neuschwanstein? Castle Lego set, and he got me the Notre Dame Lego set. He clearly loved his gift and was going on about how excited he was to build it and how he'd been spending his day off, his next day off working on it. He showed a lot more enthusiasm for this than the watch his girlfriend got him, though he clearly liked that too. Since then, his girlfriend has reached out to me insisting I tried to show her up deliberately by getting him a gift he'd like more, and how she was trying to treat him like an adult with her gift while I encouraged him to be childish. Ooh, bad look for the girlfriend. This is a red flag, y'all. This is a red flag from the girlfriend, both about being jealous about your twin, like your boyfriend's twin giving a good gift that they would like is the most normal thing in the world, but also like framing it as encouraging childishness instead of acting like an adult. You sound like a joyless person that's miserable to be around. Okay. Let's see. Childish. Okay. She also thinks we somehow planned this gift exchange as we both got Lego for each other. I had to tell her no, it is just something that we have always enjoyed together and it's just natural we do this. I also told her that I had no intention of showing her up, but if she really wanted to win the day with gifts, she should have considered his interests and not worried about what seems appropriate for an adult. She then pivoted to the fact that she is his girlfriend and I should have warned her I was getting an expensive gift. I pointed out my brother didn't warn my boyfriend, but she insists that doesn't matter, that I should have. Was I in the wrong for giving her, or for not giving her warning and leading to her feeling shown up as a result? I have never felt the need to give warning when my brother dated, but maybe I should have. Not the asshole, the easy open and shut case. I'm sorry. Your brother's girlfriend is extremely insecure and she herself is immature if she thinks that a gift that her boyfriend loves because it has cherished childhood memories associated to it with it from his twin is like some sort of competition that she's losing and is like a bad gift. Insane take. This person has very severe insecurity issues and is projecting them on you. It is not your fault if somebody else feels shown up by you giving a considerate gift, okay? Like, there are some cases and bounds where, like, maybe you're an asshole for being insano. Like, I don't know. They're so insane that I can't even imagine them really happening, you know? But, like, insane behavior from adults. These people are in their mid-20s. Like, brother, you are supposed to be full-grown adults by now. Like, please. Also, Kieran, do you want to see a full, like, listen, I got references. Do you want to see my full body? Like, do you need any, like, close-ups on the clothing now that we finished this story? Yeah, anyway, not the asshole. Easy, not the asshole. Her gift to you is a pair of huge red flags. Full-grown adults not acting like adults. Who could have foreseen this? I know, right? On Am I the Asshole, no less? Imagine. Yeah, insane. What a great way to phrase it. Her gift to you is the pair of huge red flags. Amazing. Oh, please don't let her ruin what sounds like a beautiful birthday tradition. The fact that you and your twin managed to independently buy each other massive Lego sets is honestly magical and hilarious. It shows how deeply connected you two still are, which is exactly how it should be. 100%. Not the asshole. She's jealous. Short and sweet. Not the asshole. As a twin, if my brother-in-law got offended, I would flat out tell him to get to know his wife better. You were being kind and gentle. She needs to get over herself. Also true. I wanted to say much worse than I did, and her picking a gift just because it seemed more adult struck me as so weird. Yeah. Listen, on this channel, Sorry, I'm scratching my nose. On this channel, we are big about embracing your passions unashamedly and loving the things that you love and not feeling like you need some sort of fictitious version of growing up and being a mature adult. Being a mature adult is being secure in your preferences and likes and boundaries and the things that bring you joy. And if being an adult means being a joyless husk, then like that notion is wrong. So, you know, listen, not the asshole. Not the asshole, okay? Okay? Ooh, interesting. Oh, that's a pretty big one. Am I the asshole for not leaving a concert? I recently attended a concert with my husband and 2 friends. It was a large concert with a very competitive ticket buying process. The artist is very special to me and my husband, and we were going to buy tickets for our anniversary gift to each other. A friend, Amanda from out of town, asked if we could buy a ticket for her because she wanted to see the show and would fly in for it. Another mutual friend, Jill, who's not a fan of the musician, wanted to go because we were both going. My husband and I said no problem, the more the merrier, and managed to get tickets for everyone. Let me guess, Jill decided that she wanted to leave and was upset that nobody left with her. Let's find out. Amanda and her first baby had her first baby a year and a half ago. This was going to be the first time that she was away from her baby. She stayed at my house the night before the concert and did not seem to be coping well with being away from her child. Lots of tears. Stayed on FaceTime with her baby for hours. Eventually, we convinced her to get some sleep. We asked if she wanted to go home the next day, and she said no. Concert rolls around, and Amanda is having what I could only describe as a panic attack. From the time we got to the stadium onwards, she didn't have a reliable signal to talk with her husband about the baby, and I think that crowds and heat were a lot. Jill, who was okay missing the show, basically stayed in a bathroom with Amanda the whole time, trying to calm her down. My husband and I stayed in our seats, except for 2 times I went to check on them. Amanda decided that she wanted to leave halfway through, and Jill offered to take her back to my house. My husband and I opted to stay for the rest of the concert. I guess Amanda is upset that we stayed at the concert and it got back to our mutual mom friends. They are all being critical of me, and I feel like I might be the asshole because I told them that Amanda shouldn't have put us in the situation if she knew she wasn't going to be able to handle it, and my life obviously doesn't revolve around everyone else's kids. I'm wondering if I'm the asshole for both staying at the concert and for my response. ETA. Just a few clarifications based on my initial comments. I don't actually know what ETA means in this circumstance. We weren't really considering it a special anniversary thing anymore after our friends asked to join, but that it was totally fine. However, we obviously still really wanted to be there. We did drive everyone, but Amanda and Jill were able to call an Uber and leave. Yes, Jill is awesome for sure. Edit to add. Thank you. Thank you, Rue. Also, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you. Edited to add. Thank you. Listen, I'm usually pretty good about Reddit acronyms. Did not know that one. I'm going to say this is a little tricky. I'm going to say mostly not the asshole, though. If Jill wasn't there and you still didn't try and help your friend, then I would maybe say the asshole. It is unfortunate because that's one of those cases that we were talking about where you are 100% within your rights to enjoy the concert that you paid for that had a special emotional connection to you and your husband. You're 100% in your rights. It's also true that your friend was having a mental breakdown, and that's a difficult situation. It's also true that your friend overextended herself and like put herself in this position and was given a lot of off ramps and still decided to come. But again, because in the situation that actually happened, where there was somebody that was willing to be with her and help her and go home with her, she was not in a place where she was stuck panicking alone in a crowded situation where she just needed to leave and go home. And so I don't think that you're the asshole. I think it's okay that somebody else took care of your friend and you don't all need to like leave the situation. Full stop. I think that's my ultimate judgment on it is like, if it was just the 3 of you and she was losing it, I think that like it would have been good to have made sure that she was okay and maybe to help her get an Uber. I don't think you needed to ride in the Uber with her. She's an adult. She can take an Uber on her own. But like, the fact that somebody was already stepping up in that position and it's the person that didn't really mind that much about the thing. I just don't, it's not your responsibility to like look after somebody else, especially when you offered so many offers of assistance and consideration beforehand because you observed that she wasn't in a good spot and was like, maybe you shouldn't come. Like, I think you did a perfectly reasonable thing. This is actually legitimately like one of the trickiest ones that we've seen because there are a lot of ways in which I kind of get why the friend is upset, but also it's like entirely in the friend's own control. And also she like, I don't know. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I don't know. What do you guys think? Clearly Reddit says not the asshole. I think Reddit's going to be a little bit more on the side of like, it's your concert. You don't have to do anything for your friend, which is like technically true, but for me, it's a little bit more contextual. Also, like, let it be said, this is something that you didn't plan to bring friends along to, and they invited themselves. So like, she invited herself and then couldn't handle what she signed herself up for by pressuring you into inviting her. Like, I'm sorry, like, she's not a child. She's an adult too, you know? Not the asshole. She actually spoiled your night, not the other way around. Yep. The first time you leave your baby is hard, but it's no one else's problem but hers. And leaving the venue did not get her closer to her baby. It just wasted the ticket she bought. On the other hand, Jill is a keeper. Yeah, you're right. Why did Amanda make her first time away from her baby an expensive concert away from her hometown on a overnight multi-day trip? Yeah. I mean, I can understand not being able to predict how hard it was going to hit you, but like that would have been, it was clear how hard it was hitting her the night before the concert, you know? Not the asshole. Amanda is a mother, not a baby herself. Yep. She should have been able to take care of herself. If not, she had a friend with her. Why would she be upset that she didn't get to ruin everyone else's night? Is she always this selfish? Harsh, but that's kind of what my point was. I definitely think not the asshole. She wasn't left alone. She had someone with her. There's no reason. Exactly. That's exactly my opinion. Like I said, if Jill wasn't there, I think that you would have had a little bit more slight responsibility to like be looking at, like helping her out, at least as far as like getting her an Uber to go home, which is fine, you know? But like, yeah, it's tough. It's a tough situation. I honestly don't think Amanda is like really an asshole either, but I do think that like being shitty about it is like a little immature, you know? Why on earth would she expect you, all of you to leave on her behalf and miss the concert? Amanda needs therapy. Yeah, I mean, it's complicated, right? I'm not even going to get into, I saw some people mentioning like postpartum depression and things like that. Like, I obviously can't comment on that whatsoever. You know, I'm not saying that like, I don't think Amanda's like a bad person. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's complicated. I can't imagine. As a not parent, I have no idea what that feels like. But again, I'm not really blaming her for having those feelings. It's more about what she expects everyone else to do about it, you know? Ooh, am I the asshole for refusing to change my name? Is this a marriage one? I recently left my husband, and one of the things we're fighting about is now is my last name. Oh, she left the husband? Oh, that's juicy. Oh, is she keeping the last name after the divorce? Ooh, I like this. Ooh, the little gossip hoe in me loves this. It wouldn't be inaccurate to say that Amanda needs therapy, but I'd never say that in an insulting way. No, and I don't mean it that way either. Like, therapy is good and important. I don't know if she needs therapy or if she just needs time, you know? I don't know Amanda well enough to know that, right? But okay. I've recently left my husband, and one of the things we're fighting about now is my last name. For some background, I have a PhD in computer science. Let's go, queen. I could never. And I work in academia. I've published papers, presented at conferences, reviewed research, and built a professional reputation that's tied to my legal name. When we got married, I did not want to change my last name. I wanted to keep it my maiden name because all of my degrees and publications were under it, and I knew changing names would make things more complicated professionally. My husband insisted it was a deal breaker. He said he couldn't marry someone who wouldn't take his name. I mean, red flag, but everybody's entitled to their own preferences. I remember specifically explaining that my career would be tied to whatever name I used, and that I still remember his response because it bothered me even then. He laughed and said something along the lines of, "That's good, then you won't be able to just leave me over stupid shit like dreaming I did something wrong." Oh, I mean, good news is you're already divorced. Good news is you're already divorced. Holy shit, bro. Okay. For context, I've been the primary earner throughout our marriage. My husband has mostly been unemployed. He's done things like Uber on and off, but I pay the mortgage bills, insurance, and pretty much everything else. I now left him for reasons like that. The issue is now he wants me to change my last name back immediately. Too fucking bad. Ironically, I'm refusing for exactly the same reason I gave him years ago. Since getting married, I've published even more papers, supervised graduate students, received grants, and become known professionally under my married name. Changing it now would create confusion for citations, collaboration, students, and my professional identity. Plenty of academics keep the same name after divorce for exactly this reason. He's furious, saying I'm stealing his family name and damaging the reputation of his family by continuing to use it without staying in it. Really, it sounds to me like the husband is damaging his family's name. But who said that? His family does have a history locally. Several older relatives were major landowners and business owners decades ago. So the surname is somewhat recognizable where we live. My husband himself isn't a public figure, and neither are his parents or siblings, and they have mostly lost the wealth now due to gambling and bad decisions. Crazy. I pointed out that he was the one who insisted I take his name despite knowing it would become attached to my career. He said it's different because we were married then, and now I'm using his family's name without belonging to the family anymore. Huge, not the asshole. Listen, I respect the game. I feel like in that situation, I would want to be away from the husband bad enough that I would want to change my name back as like a form of spite, but she clearly values her professional accomplishments and career and identity, and like that is 100% fine and completely valid. She does not have like this is such a giga not the asshole. Like she already got pressured into doing it in the first place. You know, too bad. Something about fuck around, find out, the making the bed you lie in, like, yeah, the husband's the asshole. Yeah, exactly. You think the Redditor might have meant it in an insulting way with the therapy one? I don't actually know that they did, but regardless. Yeah, that's crazy. Tough shit. What a whiny baby. Was already a whiny baby, clearly has, self-worth issues if he unironically said, now you can't leave me because you have my name and it's difficult to change. Like, that's fucked up. And listen, that should have been your huge red flag in the beginning, but listen, you ignored that one, so too bad. Not the asshole. So easy. A bit of an asshole to yourself for marrying the dude in the first place. Yeah, kind of true, but it's hindsight's 2020, as they say. Tell him at this point, you bring more prestige to the last name than he does, so he really should change his last name to stop tarnishing your reputation. Fucking got him. That's kind of what I said in a different font. Not the asshole. One of the benefits of getting divorced is no longer having to care what his opinions are. It's now your name. You can use it or change it, but it's your choice, and he doesn't get an option. If he's upset, that's his problem. Also true. Listen, you can change your name to anything you want. The fact that your family has that last name doesn't mean that you own that last name. You know what I mean? If she never even knew you, she could change her name to that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how name changing works. Okay. I feel like my voice is getting a little bit tired, so I'm going to do maybe like one or two more of these, and then I think I'll be calling it. Am I the asshole for stealing a bottle of $700 bourbon from my brother-in-law? Interesting. Welcome in, Raiders. Hello, Celine. Welcome in. If you don't know me, I am Greibach, cyber vampire, unk gamer, yapper extraordinaire, and we are doing a little bit of fun Reddit Am I the Asshole reading and judgment and discussing all of these people's things. Welcome in. I see oh, you were playing Witchspire. How was that? I've been looking at that. It's very on brand for me. I was looking at that. How did you like it? How did you enjoy it? If you need to raid and run, absolutely a-okay. Thank you for trusting me with your community. Also, thank you for the 5 biddies. Hello. Thank you so much, Circus of Demons. Yeah, welcome in. How we doing? What's going on? It's so fun. Hell yeah. There's a few like cute sort of like cozy vampire-ish type games that have been coming out recently, like Vampire or Witch or whatnot that I'm like pretty hyped about. Yeah, welcome in. Yeah. You know what? We can do a little. We could like get up a little front and center, say hi to everybody, you know, a little bit. Oh my God. I was just saying that my voice is like getting tired, so I probably only got a few more of these in me. We good. It's your vibe too. Witchy Vampire Princess. Hell yeah. Yeah. Bass. Amazing. You'll fit right in. Yeah. We love, you know, for a long time, I didn't think that sort of like farming type games would be, wait, is Witchspire one of the, is that one a like sort of a farming sort of like Stardew game with witchy things, or is it like a different one? Because there's like a couple of those games that have been coming out that I've been kind of eyeing, but I kind of forget which one's which. It's like Pal World, but Hogwarts. Oh, that's cute. Sorry, I'm like scratching my whole face. It's probably making my model totally fuck up. That's cool. Hell yeah. We love that. We also love things that are like something else, but done more fun and with more heart and soul. You know what I mean? Okay. Whoop. Excuse me. Excuse-moi. Okay. So in my family, a few of us drink and collect bourbon, mainly me, my brother-in-law, and my dad. Some bottles are extremely rare, expensive, and hard to find, so collectors will line up at stores or attend special events hoping to get one. Last Thanksgiving, a liquor store near me, is this whole thing going to be that she bought the bourbon before her brother-in-law could buy the bourbon and he's considering that stealing? That's fucking crazy. If that's where this story's going, that's fucking crazy. We'll strap in. Liquor store near my sister and brother-in-law was holding an event with a large number of rare bourbons. Everyone who arrived at 8 a.m. received a number, and numbers were randomly called throughout the morning. When they called, you could buy one available bottle at MSRP. Everyone would eventually be called, but earlier numbers had better choices. My brother-in-law was especially excited because he has a huge bourbon collection, but has never been able to find a bottle of Pappy. This is kind of like the holy grail of bourbons that all collectors, myself included, would die to find a bottle of at this price. It was about 50-50 ongoing because I also collect bourbon and would kill for a bottle of Pappy, but I had not fully committed because it was Thanksgiving morning and we had a lot going on at home. At the last minute, my brother-in-law had to work Thanksgiving morning. He asked my sister, who does not care about bourbon, to go in his place and hopefully get the Pappy. She asked me to come so she would not have to attend this whole bourbon circus alone. Since I'd already considered going and wanted a chance at a cool bottle for my collection, I went with her. We also invited my dad because he too would kill to get his own bottle of Pappy, but he thought the whole thing sounded weird and stayed home. My sister received numbers 44. My sister and I received 44 and 55, or 54 and 55. I can read. My number was called about 15 people in. I bought the bottle of Pappy for around $100. It's nearly impossible to find near us and usually sells for $700 plus. My sister was called much later after it was gone and settled for a bottle of E.H. Taylor, which is good, but not nearly as rare or expensive. I want Aeon to weigh in on this because she probably knows what the fuck they're talking about. I was thrilled. This is literally the bottle of a lifetime, and I never thought I would get it. However, when we got home, my brother-in-law immediately said, "That is my bourbon." He believes I went solely as his stand-in, so the Pappy should belong to him. He says I stole the bottle and would have gotten it if he had been able to attend. He's wrong. Full stop. I already, okay, this is slightly more complex than I thought it was, but he's just wrong. Full stop. I disagree. I went because I also drink and collect bourbon and wanted a bottle myself. I never agreed to give him anything I bought. I knew my sister was there specifically for him, but I considered myself an independent participant who was also keeping her company. This is correct. I could understand the argument if my sister had brought my mom, who could not care less about bourbon, and she happened to get the pappy, but then she clearly would have been there only as a stand-in. That's not my situation. My brother-in-law still refers to it as his pappy and brings up Pappygate whenever possible. So Reddit, am I the asshole? I genuinely did not realize he believed I was attending on his behalf. In his mind, I schemed him out of the one bottle he waited for years to complete his collection. Your brother-in-law didn't ask you to attend on his behalf. If his wife did that, like if his wife went on his behalf, bought it, and then was like, well, you can't have it, then that's kind of fucked up. But he never asked you. Just because you know him doesn't mean that you're his stand-in. This is some crazy possessive bullshit and immaturity. Like, it's a one-to-one, it's a one ticket per one person. It's not like the wife didn't get a ticket. Like, if they went in and they only got one number because they went together, then that would be different too. But they each got a ticket, just like if he was standing in there himself. Not the asshole. Brother-in-law is being fucking weird. Okay. All right. Disclaimer, the argument's mostly in good fun. I love my sister and brother-in-law. I would just like to settle it so I can stop hearing about Pappygate whenever I open the bottle. It will 100% be with him present for the first tasting. Yeah. So many more replies than I thought possible. Tons of people are saying to just drink the bottle with brother-in-law and bury the hatchet. He actually doesn't drink bourbon. He just likes to collect. That's the most rich person bullshit I've ever heard. I don't even drink bourbon. I just collect it. It fucking skews me. That's crazy. That's the craziest part of this story. That's the craziest part of this story. Holy shit. If you want it, listen, if you don't even drink it and you just collect it just to have it, then you pay the $700. Deal with it, bro. You're already collecting an expensive hobby for love of the game. Fuck me. Holy. Okay. It doesn't, let's see. It wouldn't actually do any good because he wanted an unopened bottle for his collection. Sure. People who are confused about the process. Yeah, I'm not confused. Okay. Insane. Actually insane. What a crazy situation. That is hilarious. Not the asshole. Brother-in-law is weird. And like, I get it. I think he's just like playfully teasing you about it, but it's like weird that he actually probably thinks he's right still. You know what I mean? You were also there because you collect bourbon. Yeah, not because you wanted to steal a very expensive bottle. Exactly. His wife acted as his agent and made her choice for him. Exactly. Not the asshole. Your sister was the official stand-in. She didn't get the bottle. You did. Yes. Not the asshole. Your sister is the proxy. Not exactly. Not the asshole. Anytime he mentions his pappy and gets his dumb ass demoted for the rest of the conversation. Yeah. He won't be drinking it. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's fucking wild. It's so funny. What a shock twist. Like the fact that he's just collecting it for love of the game is so much funnier. Oh, I just read the title on this one. Holy. Am I the asshole for making my daughter pay back $6,000 for destroying her stepsister's purse? Okay. I'm gonna assume not, unless there's a huge age gap here. When my daughter was around 10, I remarried to her stepmom, who had her own daughter who was 9. Okay, so they're basically the same age. They got along for the most part until recently. In short, my daughter is jealous. I call my daughter Ash. My stepdaughter, Emma, has recently reconnected with her grandparents on her father's side. The grandparents have money to burn and are retired. I want to point out before they came into the picture that my daughter was the one to receive nicer gifts from her mom's side of the family. Example, there have been a few times where Ash went on vacations that my stepdaughter wasn't allowed to go on or got more expensive stuff. I can't stop my ex-wife from spoiling her or her family. Welcome to my domain, Ruby for Space. Welcome in, welcome in. We're doing some Reddit reading, some Am I the Asshole? Having a lot of fun. I want to point out that before they came into the picture, my daughter, oh yeah, we already got that one. Okay. So the issue has been Ash has been super jealous of Emma recently because Emma's grandparents are giving her stuff. That's a problem for Ash that she's going to have to work out. That stuff will sometimes be in our home. I'm not going to ban her bringing her gifts to her place that she lives at 50% of the time. One example is Emma got the newest phone that my daughter wanted her iPhone upgraded. I told her we don't have the money at the moment, and she said it was unfair. The stepsister got the newest phone. She wasn't very happy. We had this conversation. and brought up the stuff she's gotten, but Emma hasn't over the years. Ash is 16 and Emma is 15. Now, okay, this makes it awkward because they're still teenagers, and obviously this is immature, but also like, boy, the ages make this one really difficult. Okay. Ash is 16, Emma is 15. Emma's grandparents got her a $6,000 purse for her for back to school. I don't get it, but Emma seemed to really like it and that she's using it. It's her first real purse. Insane to give a 15-year-old a $6,000 purse. My daughter was jealous when she saw it because she knew the brand. Ash asked if she could borrow it, and Emma told her no. They got into an argument, and I stopped it and reiterated that it was Emma's. Yeah. Well, Ash decided to destroy the purse. She cut some of the leather and popped some of the seams. My wife's ex-husband was pissed, and my wife replaced the purse with her own money that we really didn't have to blow. Yikes. I discussed it with my wife, and we are making Ash pay back the purse. We already took $4,000 that she earned this summer from her job and made it clear that her next paycheck, she's going to give us 50% until it's paid. She's been upset with me. She's been upset for some time and ran to her mom, who has a lot of things to say about this. She claims we're being too harsh. Well. If it's not the consequences of our own actions rearing up again. Obviously, this is difficult. The situation is complex because I think the biggest thing that's complicated about this is obviously the other grandparents are filthy fucking rich. I have a relative that's like this that is very wealthy. Not that wealthy, like probably not wealthy enough to give $6,000 purses to a teenager, but like she gave very big gifts to like her portion of the family in a very large family with like whatever. She was always the one that was like giving the really big gifts. And I think what makes this complex is it belonged to the daughter, but it's not something that the daughter saved up for. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like someone really rich gave you a gift and somebody else destroyed it. It's really fucked up that, like, I don't know how to say this exactly. Because at the end of the day, the daughter, Ash, like, needs to learn her lesson. That's actually insane to just destroy something that's $6,000 because she wanted to. It was not an accident. It was willful malice. And I think just not the asshole. It's really tough. I was gonna say it's like kind of hard, but like if she's earning money from a summer job, yeah, man, you don't get to have that fun money. Your parents needed that money too. Like it's crazy. If it had been an accident, you might agree, but it was an intentional thing. Exactly. It's mostly just that it's such a warped situation that like like at the end of the day, the real truth is probably that the grandparents could have just replaced it.
Woof.
But woof, exactly. Is that the grandparents could have just like replaced it, and because they have so much money that obviously this is fucking nothing to them. But the other problem is that Ash needs to learn her lesson. Like she can't just do this. She can't just destroy things or deface things because she's jealous. And so I also, yeah, like I don't know. It like what I think probably should have happened. I think in my ideal world, the grandparents would have replaced it and the parents would have made Ash pay back the grandparents. I think that would have been my like, ideally my ideal situation. I don't think it's wrong that they're making her repay it. She's old enough to know better. Okay. Like actually insane. I know that 16-year-olds aren't fucking smart, but they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Okay. Insane. Yeah. $6,000 is a lot for a teen. Is she wrong? She's in the wrong, but $6,000. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't really think the grandparents should have been giving this as a gift in the first place. But also, like, the worst part is that Ash knew it was expensive, right? If if she was being petty about it, but didn't realize it was a $6,000 purse, she just thought it was a nice purse, that would be a little bit less, like slightly less bad. But the fact that she knew that it was like, yeah, it was like a Louis Vuitton purse or something. Like she knew full fucking well how expensive this was. And she said, yep, I'm taking scissors to that. Sorry, girl, you can go to jail for that. Like, that's enough money. That is an expensive enough item that it probably gets into like felony property destruction. You know what I mean? Like, it is legitimately insane to be doing that. And so the problem is like the parents felt like they needed to replace this, and that money probably would be going to Ash's like college fund or whatever, but they felt like they had to replace it because of her actions. So like, honestly, yeah, she kind of needs to, I don't know, it's tough. But like, also when you're a teenager and you live at home and you don't have any expenses, the money that you earn is supposed to be for you to learn the value of your work and be able to like do something with it in your life. And if you choose to flush that down the toilet, that's part of your lesson too. You know what I mean? So I not the asshole, but like really tough situation. It's really difficult in general with weird family dynamics like this with like step siblings and divorces and families where like where one child is like the grandchild of one person and the other child is the grandchild or relative of another person, and like the money disparity is really large, but the person with a lot of money is like only giving it to their direct descendant, then it like gets into this really like awkward place that 100% does not justify the property destruction, but it is really awkward. Like it is awkward, but that's part of life. You know, sometimes life is awkward. Sometimes life isn't fair, but that doesn't give you justification for destroying something that somebody else got because, you know, because they are more privileged than you. Like, yeah, absolutely insane work. Absolutely insane work. Yeah, they're not even like, the only reason these punishments seems harsh is because the crime was harsh. Like, she's literally just being told that she needs to be accountable for the damage that she caused. You know what I mean? The fact that it's harsh is because she made a really harsh choice, you know? I don't know. Absolutely insane. Like, ask her how she would feel if her sister, like if she gets a car and then her sister keys the car and, or like wrecks the car and causes $6,000 of damage. You know, you're like, oh, honey, that's how things happen. Girls will be girls. Like, what the fuck? Absolutely insane. Anyway, okay, all right. Well, I think I'm gonna call it there. We're gonna hide some things. Hold on. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys had some fun today. We can go back to chatting. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot to stop the new song. Yes, I hope you guys had fun. I had fun. This was interesting. Let me know if you enjoy this type of thing. I personally think this kind of thing is pretty fun to like, I don't know, talk about different like values, also to just like look at some of the insanity that's out there in the world. I have a lot of fun with it. So yeah. But I hope you guys had fun. I'm gonna look for someone to raid out to. Also, thank you to all of the raiders. I appreciate all of you. I hope you've enjoyed your stay here. Who are we gonna raid? We can raid Ultimo again. He is doing a 2K celebration, which is a great milestone to have accomplished. So we can raid out to him. Just a second. Raid out to Ultimo. Okay. We'll be back on Monday. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. I will come back regaling you with tales of Ren Fair. So, yeah, have fun. I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.